For the past 7 years, Sears has been a proud sponsor of the Die Hard 500. This year proves to be every bit as dramatic. So let's have a safe race, and good luck to all Die Hard 500 crews and drivers. We hope you enjoy the event.
For 15 of its 25 years, Talladega promoted itself as not only the world's fastest superspeedway, but the track of upsets, where dark horses left their mark. On the outside, Wallace moving. Dillon stays first. Whichman drops on the inside in the 25. The tri-oval. Here they come for the line. Dillon wins it. 15 different races. 15 different faces. That's what they said about the winners here. Dale Earnhardt changed that. 5 times he's won this 500 since '83. And the defending 500 champion has marched out of his transporter today to face what he loves the most, the high speed, the heat and pressure, the risk. Get ready. Here comes the Talladega Die Hard 500. It is a classic day for a race here at Talladega, Alabama on the 2.6 high miler. A record crowd is in attendance. Temperatures are just about perfect for this one. 42 cars at the ready for $1 million. Hello, everyone. Ken Squire with Ned Jarrett alongside. Along with Dale Earnhardt, one other driver has pulled out a second win, Darrell Waltrip. 8 guys in this race who've won it before. Can anybody do it a second time from that group?
Well, I think there's an excellent chance that we could see another repeat winner here today. 4 come to mind, 4 that are starting in the top 15 here this afternoon. Terry Labonte, Bill Elliott, Ken Schrader, and Ernie Irvin are all running very well, good enough to win this race. And this race, as you say, has produced a lot of first-time winners in NASCAR Winston Cup competition. We could see that again here today. We've already had 3 first-time winners in Winston Cup competition so far this year. Sterling Marlin winning the Daytona 500 back in February. Jeff Gordon took the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte in May. And then Jimmy Spencer in the Pepsi 400 in the summer race at Daytona a couple of weeks ago. So it wouldn't surprise me to see another first-time winner, not only on this track, but in Winston Cup competition. The 2 that come to mind, I think, that's got the best chance, Michael Waltrip and Todd Bodine.
For this race, something special today. The all-time champion of NASCAR, 200 times a winner, and a former winner in this Die Hard 500, Richard Petty. It's great to have you alongside. What's it take to win out here?
I tell you, it's a real good car, real good crew, a whole lot of luck, and just being in the right place at the right time, which I think is kind of proves when we say they had 15 different winners there over 15 races. And what happens is everybody gets to racing for the lead, and they don't pay any attention maybe to some of the other cars, and all of a sudden somebody done slips up there and wins the race, and that's what makes it exciting here.
The man everybody want to slip up on today is sitting on the pole. He's the man everybody's talking about, and Mike Joy has the story.
Dale Earnhardt has won 3 of the last 4 Die Hard 500s. This car and this man won here in May. How about it, champ? You feeling racy today?
I feel real racy.
Dale, what are the chances of 2 in a row to complete a 94 sweep and 4 of the last 5 here? What'll it take to win this race?
Well, I tell you, it's really harder to win these races, Mike. The drafting plays so much a part, and you get down to it, and you don't know who's going to be the guy you got to work with or the guy you got to pass. So it comes down to really just being at the right place at the right time and being awful lucky. But if the car's running good, you got a good shot at it.
Lieutenant Michael Lutz, 18-year veteran of the Zanesville, Ohio Sheriff Department. His badge number was 12. He was killed in the line of duty. Why is that number on the side of your car today?
Well, we're sort of honoring him and trying to help make aware of what happened there, trying to raise some money for the capture of the criminal that shot him. He lost his life in Ohio. He's a big Earnhardt fan. His family and friends, everybody's Earnhardt fans up there in Ohio. So we're just sort of paying a little tribute to him, you know, and of course our old buddy Bonnet's with me all the time anyway.
Thanks, Dale. Good luck to you today. The man on the pole is no surprise. Perhaps the man alongside is.
Just 3 weeks ago, Jimmy Spencer won his first ever Winston Cup race. That victory happened at Daytona, a track almost identical to this one, and it happened in this exact same car. How about today, Jimmy?
Well, I'll tell you something, Dick. We're running real good. We wanted to get on the pole real bad, but old Dale beat us out a little bit. But, it's going to be a long, hot day today, and hopefully the McDonald's car run as good as it did at Daytona. It feels that way right now.
Ken Squire?
All right, 42 cars just about set to go here at Talladega today. Stay tuned for CBS flag-to-flag coverage of the most competitive race.
The Die Hard 500 is sponsored by Sears Die Hard, the official battery of NASCAR. The all-new Ford Mustang. It is what it was and more. And by smooth Busch beer and easy drinking Busch Light.
Racing legend Richard Petty gave us an incredible challenge to try and start his toys.
All my toys.
All at once with a single Die Hard. So we hooked up all 9 engines, and the Die Hard started every one.
All at the same time.
But would it still have the power to start this big toy? Sears Die Hard. More power when you need it most.
This is a bucket of water, and this is the new Goodyear Eagle AquaTread for performance cars. A wide performance tire with twin aqua channels to sweep water away for outstanding wet traction. New Eagle AquaTread, only from Goodyear.
Sure, Tylenol's great for fever, backaches, lots of stuff. But Excedrin relieves headaches better. So is it worth keeping? If you had my headaches, you'd think so, yeah.
Excedrin, the headache medicine. The all-new Ford Mustang. It is what it was, and more.
Here at Talladega, this is a weekend to celebrate man's commitment and courage. 25 years ago, who better to honor than one of those who left his footsteps on the moon back then, Buzz Aldrin, with Mike Joy right now.
In 1969, he traveled 7 miles a second to reach the moon in the U.S. space race. Now he'll send this field off at a football field a second. A little slower, but no less exciting. Dr. Buzz Aldrin.
Drivers, energize your ground craft.
You can be sure that all 42 are energized by this record crowd, by the fact they're at Talladega, ready for the 18th event of the Winston Cup Circuit 1994.
Elmo Langley at the wheel will, in just a moment, lead this field around for what we expect to be 2 paint laps before they take the green flag.
Let's meet a former winner. Standing by right now with David Hobbs is Ron Bouchard.
In only his 13th start, Ron Bouchard had his first and only win in Winston Cup racing, but it goes down in the record book still today as the closest 1-2-3 finish ever. What are your thoughts on that great day, Ron?
Well, the minute I walked in here, David, I could remember the race and remember coming down the start-finish line and being so very close with Darrell. And it was funny. Last night he talked a little bit and he said, geez, I had Terry Labonte up there in the marbles where I needed him. And he says, all of a sudden I looked down and he says, there's that 47 car going right by the both of us.
I think he thought he was lapping you, didn't he?
Yeah, he wasn't sure where we came from. We just sat back there all day and we had a very fast race car. And at the end, I knew that I had an opportunity. If they got side by side, I would be able to get by them.
Ron, any thoughts on today's great race?
Well, I think we're going to see more of the restrictor plate racing. Instead of 5 or 6 cars in a lead draft, we're going to see 20 race cars racing hard for the lead, and I think we're going to see a very, very competitive race today.
Thanks, Ron Bouchard, your 81 winner of the Die Hard 500.
We had a preview yesterday of how competitive it can be. Ken Schrader, in one of the best races I've ever witnessed at Talladega, won the Grand National race. What an encounter it was. They changed the lead over 30 times. 14 drivers swapped it. They averaged 188 plus over the first 100 miles. And now, the Winston Cup cars begin to roll. Coming out. Wally Dollenbach stopped for a moment just at the exit of pit road. Jeff Ledine had trouble firing the number 7, the winner at Pocono a week ago, but he's underway. Now let's take a look at the 1994 Talladega Die Hard 500 grid. On the pole at 193 plus miles an hour, going for his 3rd Talladega win in a row, Dale Earnhardt. Alongside Jimmy Spencer, winner earlier this month at Daytona. In row 2, it's Loy Allen, the rookie from Raleigh, North Carolina, and yesterday's winner and the 88 winner here, Ken Schrader. For row 3, it's the 92 Die Hard champion, Ernie Irvan and Mark Martin. For row 4, Todd Bodine's there, and Sterling Marlin, runner-up here a couple years back. Row 5 is Michael Waltrip and Wally Dollenbach. In row 6 is the 87 champion of this race, Bill Elliott, and the 89 winner, Texas Terry Labonte. In row 7, Dale Jarrett and Mike Wallace, the rookie from St. Louis. In row 8, Jeff Gordon is there and Kenny Wallace. For row 9, it's Ted Musgrave from Wisconsin, Lake Speed from Mississippi. In row 10, row 11, John Andretti, great qualifying mark, and the 2-time winner of this event, Darrell Waltrip. For row 12, it's Kyle Petty and Steve Grissom. Row 13 today is Jeremy Mayfield and Rusty Wallace. Row 14, Tim Steele and Ricky Rudd. Row 15, Greg Sachs and Jeff Purvis. Row 16, Morgan Shepherd and Bobby Hillen. Row 17, Harry Gant and Dave Marcus. For row 19, Bobby Labonte, Jimmy Hensley. Row 19, Hut Strickland, Rick Mass. Row 20, Jeff Burton and Brad Teague. And the provisional starters today, Bobby Hamilton, former Rookie of the Year, Joe Nemechek, who was 3rd last week at Pocono. 42 strong, ready to go. The failed to qualify for this race, number 10. And you see one of the Burtons, Ward, had a 4th place finish a week ago, did not make the field. Derek Cope not in it. Joe Ruttman didn't make it. Dick Trickle didn't make it. Billy Stanbridge, a number not making this field. Weather conditions, you couldn't have it better today as you look them over up here on the high bank net.
Actually, it's not quite as hot as we have seen it before. There's been a little bit of a breeze here this morning. Let's hope it keeps up. 85 degrees, not too bad.
And the race itself, the race statistics on this event. Here you see it's $1 million payoff today. The race record is 176 miles an hour, 1992. That was the average for Ernie Irvan. Field down that long back straightaway where those incredible freight trains will begin to develop as we go through this one. On board with car number 43, Wally Dollenbach. There's his roof cam. He's qualified in 10th position today. And he has a rear bumper camera as well on number 43. There's the look back, Terry Labonte. Lake Speed, who qualified 18th. Taking a look from inside of his car. He too has that rear bumper cam, as we understand, on car number 15. You see Musgrave pulling up alongside. Rusty Wallace is carrying a camera. Boy, he had bad luck here. Qualified 26 today. Give you a stationary front and rear look as Greg Sachs pulls alongside. And right behind that car, see Ricky Rudd. He's looking right back up at Rusty Wallace. face cam on Rusty Wallace. He'll give you some pretty good views. He has a 360-degree camera in there as well. So that's part of how we'll cover it for you today. Here for 188 laps. Field coming in, settling down for a start.
And one driver had to go to the rear because he missed a driver's meeting, Kyle Petty. Richard, I thought you told him better than that.
Yeah, I guess he didn't get up early enough this morning.
Okay.
That's a Petty trade, isn't it?
On his side.
Oh, on his side. That's not what he says. Down out of the trioval, remember, start-finish line is down here toward turn 1. They're going to move that next year, we understand. Back up in the trioval like Daytona. Earnhardt squeezes the trigger and goes over the road.
It takes a while for these cars to get the engine revved up, the RPMs, to their maximum because of the restrictor plates that are required on this racetrack. In fact, it takes them a little more than a full lap.
What do you look out for in these first couple of laps, Richard, as you sort out?
Everybody. No, you don't know really what you're going to do or what they're going to do, especially with the track being laying here, might be a little dirt on it or whatever. But the main deal is everybody's so anxious that you just have to really sort of calm yourself down and make sure everybody else is calmed down.
Front of the field. Spencer's jumped out in front. Earnhardt's in second. Loy Allen's in third. Irvin's in fourth. Coming around to complete lap number 1. The pride of Pennsylvania, Jimmy Spencer's on the point.
He only led one lap at Daytona when he won his race, but he won the important one, the last one.
Yeah, he got an early start this time.
Wally Dallenbach, remember, he started 10th. Shoot down the inside, just in front of him, Morgan Shepherd.
That's Todd Bodine in the red and blue car directly in front of him. Dale Jarrett down on the inside. Bill Elliott up there in front.
Back to the leaders. Here's Spencer, followed by Earnhardt. Ernie Irvin still in third at the bottom of the track. And that Haviland Texaco number 28. Staying right there is Loy Allen alongside. There's a 3-car draft on the outside. He's working pretty well. Schrader and Martin working on the outside with Loy Allen.
Look at Ernie Irvin go down on the inside. Whoa. Got a run on Dale Earnhardt. Move right by him. Now he wants to lead.
Got quick too, didn't he?
Michael Waltrip moving up in this cluster. The number 30 had a pretty good run going yesterday. Had trouble late in the going. Grand National race yesterday was everything we would expect Talladega to be and more. Undeniably one of the best races here. From the blimp, from the Goodyear blimp, take a look at this field. Into the back straightaway, or rather into the main straightaway through the tri-oval, and here comes Earnhardt back for the lead.
He wants to lead as early as he can. He does it right there. He gets 5 bonus Winston Cup points by leading a lap. That's one thing he wanted to do early. Get those bonus points in case something goes wrong. We'll have that in the bank.
Right now, they've won, what, 2 or 3 laps, and they're within 150, 200 yards of each other. Dead first and dead last. You know, it looks like a pace lap right now.
Very uncontrolled pace.
Well, very uncontrolled because they're not in line, you know. They're all jockeying around. Now, it'll settle down after they run a few, but the way as close as they run, it's going to be a long time before they really get settled down.
Saw that shot just a moment ago with Loy Allen. He started on the outside pole. He found himself in the middle back there. That's a place you don't like to be, but sometimes they get 3 abreast. There he is. He's got back to 2 abreast file there now.
Back to about 12th spot in a hurry.
Here's Sterling Marlin. He wants to lead.
Marlin inches down to the bottom, finds the hole. Had some second place finishes here, but never won it. Sterling Marlin, who you saw on CBS win that 1994 Daytona 500. Michael Waltrip working his way on the bottom. He's had a 3rd place finish here on this track. Trying to just get that first Winston Cup win.
Inside groove seems to be working pretty well right now. Look at Spencer going very high, and a couple of cars get by.
Schrader dives in there. Brett Bodine just to the back end of that sandwich. With Spencer in the middle. Coming by to complete 5 of 188. Sterling Marlin in first, Earnhardt in second. Michael Waltrip for 3rd.
Bill Elliott 4th. Ernie Irvin up there in 5th. Dale Jarrett 6th. Ken Schrader is 7th. Wally Dahlem back at 8.
Just according to where you get in the right line at the right time. That's what makes a difference right there.
And so different as the race wears on as to who you're dancing with out there, who you find a draft with.
Well, right now, nobody's working with nobody. Everybody's just trying to sort of get around and get themselves in position.
Look at Spencer fading back.
Yeah, his car continues to go high. That's not a good sign. Evidently, the car is pushing out a little bit away from or either some loose he can't keep it down, which it could be either.
Last lap average, as you see them inches apart at 193.3 miles per hour. Marlin still first, Earnhardt in second, Michael Waltrip third. Schrader having a good run on board with lake speed. Riding side by side with Mark Martin. 9th position. And speed is flying. The Bud Moore car. Right in there behind Brett Bedine, pulling up on that number 43. Wally Dallenbach. Great qualifying effort by Dallenbach. He must feel a little better this weekend, Richard.
Yeah,
10th place in the start.
He had a good week so far. So we're looking forward to doing better today than what we've been doing. But he's running good now. The car's been running good all week.
Right up with the leaders. Morgan Shepherd slightly off pace. Dropped almost back to the rear of this pack. Shepherd.
Only about 4.5 seconds separating the first place car and the 42nd place car. That 42nd place car right now is Harry Gant.
And again, Goodyear Blimp, take a look at this field. Number 2 coming off the pace. Number 2. And the bad luck that has followed Rusty Wallace looks like it may be bothering him again. They have done so much testing. We're on board with Rusty Wallace as the field meanders by. They went into the wind tunnel with this brand new car. They call it number 15 on Monday after Pocono. And they really thought they had it slicked up and they were ready to beat the jinx that has fallen on them over Talladega every time they've come.
Well, let's see if he comes into the pits, Ken. He's falling back to the back of the field, but he's staying out there. He is not coming in.
And as you can see, he's fallen well behind that field. Dick Berggren can tell us more about this.
Well, Rusty Wallace crew is very concerned, Ken. They see smoke. Buddy Parrott, what's wrong with your race car? What's wrong with it, buddy?
I don't know. We think somebody got a piston. I don't know. We're going to go take it back and go back to the garage and see if we can fix it.
Rusty has had just the worst luck. This is his worst track for finishing.
Best finish here was back in '88 when Kenny Schrader won. He came home with a 5th place that day, but it just hasn't treated him well here.
Some racetracks are good to you, some of them are not, and this is one particular racetrack that they've never been able to do good. From the time he first started racing, this was not one of his good racetracks.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Rusty Wallace. Now take a look up front. Earnhardt's back in the lead. Earnhardt in the lead. Battle is even for second. Marlin versus Waltrip. A lot more to come with 9 laps complete.
It was a great race because it was against the best that's ever been, and as far as I'm concerned, in a race car. Rich Petty and I had a showdown here, and it come down to the last lap, and I inched him out, about a half a car length over him. Talladega was always a very special place to me, but I guess racing against Richard Petty on the last lap is something I'll always remember.
You look at some of the wrecks and stuff that I've been in. We had a diehard in there at that time. We probably could have seen it from the grandstand because it tore all the sheet metal off. And we just take them out of that car and put them in another car and crank it up and go on. Diehard's still going and I'm not, so I guess they're a little tougher than I was.
At the end of the day, more top mechanics in America choose one motor oil over any other brand to help keep their own cars running longer. Valvoline Motor Oil. People who know use Valvoline.
Get out those championship rings.
Those MVP things?
We're going to score 1 jillion points or more.
Because we're together now.
And you know what we're hungry for. I'm hungry for a McDonald's triple cheeseburger, extra value meal, supersize it. Just 39 cents more.
For more drink?
And more fries. And the Dream Team 2-cup when you supersize. Supersize any extra value meal.
For a puny price.
After lunch, that world championship will taste nice. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
You can't see gasoline vapors, but they are very dangerous. Gasoline is a motor fuel, not a cleaner. Don't put your family in danger by using gasoline in yours, and keep it away from your children. If you use gasoline in your home, your dreams for the future can change in a flash. Keep gasoline tightly sealed and away from your children, because what you can't see can kill you. Arancha Sanchez Vicario, the Maleva sisters, and Mary Jo Fernandez lead a top field at the Acura U.S. Women's Hard Courts next Sunday on CBS.
As they came down to complete lap 12, caution thrown on the field. Caution is out at 32 miles of racing here, averaging 190 miles per hour. The report is there is debris in turn 3. They want to clean it up with the speeds they're hitting here today. Let's go quickly into the garage area. Here's David Hobbs.
Rusty, another great disappointment for you at Talladega. What happened this time?
Oh, boy, I tell you what, at least, you know, we can't seem to get the whole program together, but at least today the car was handling great. It was really fabulous, had a lot of power, and it was running right up to the front, and it burned a piston. That was it. And when the piston burned out, there's not much you can do about it. At least I got it one piece this time, got a good handling package, and I think I'll go watch television and enjoy this race now.
You didn't exit one of your signature barrel rolls anyway this time.
No, I'm getting better not doing that now. Hopefully that's all over with. You know, those type of acts were too dangerous, but I just like to thank all the people supporting us. This was the last Speedway race for us this year. I gained a lot of points last weekend when Mark and Ernie had their problems, and now I've had my problems again. So it's always a catch-up game, but I think we can still win this championship. We just have to stay tuned.
Well, good luck in the future, mate, Rusty. Tough luck today. Thank you.
So pit road is closed for the moment. Rusty Wallace, who's really had trouble. Only one top 5 Talladega finish in 21 starts. At 5th place in 88, out of it early in this event.
And Ken, the reason pit road was closed is the fact that the pace car had not picked the field up. I want to make mention also Kyle Petty. We talked about him starting in the rear. He has already come up to 19th place in just 12 laps. You know, people say that you can't pass in restrictor plate racing. Hey, he's proven them wrong here again today.
And the guy that was in 19th place, that Brett Bodine, has pulled himself up to 9th here in this shuffle in the early going. There's Kyle Petty making his way through the field. 25 years ago, walked on the moon. What were you doing 25 years ago?
I'll tell you, 25 years ago, myself and Kenny Schrader were at his mom and dad's house watching them land on the moon. We just came from a little old racetrack called Lake Hill Speedway. We went straight from Lake Hill over to Kenny's mom and dad's house. My mom and dad were with us. Real close-knit families and friends. And so me and Schrader were sitting on a couch watching those dudes land on the moon, looking at each other like, I can't believe it. I'll never forget that as long as I live.
Watching him. I was watching him walk on the moon.
You know, I've been watching all that on TV all week long and been trying to think, where was I? What was I doing? I think I was right here at Talladega racing. I think that's the same weekend they did that.
Everybody wanted to go to the moon, and I think that was a big deal. And for us, you know, for us growing up at that deal, at that stage in time, then we felt like that we could do and be anything you wanted to be. And I think that was a big step for us, you know, and that's what I've tried to teach Adam and Austin and Montgomery Lee, that in this country you can do anything you want to do. And proof evident is that we went to the moon 25 years ago.
I don't believe we went to the moon in 1969, so you're asking the wrong guy.
All right, Colin back. Very funny. Okay, pit stops are underway. Quickly to David Hobbs.
Well, Kyle Petty said it proved that Americans could do anything, Buzz, by going to the moon. How do you feel about that? Kyle Petty said that it proved that America could do anything by going to the moon. How do you feel about that?
I didn't hear what you said.
I said that Kyle Petty said that it proved that America could do anything by going to the moon. Is that how you felt about it?
Well, it proves that we had a great spirit in this country to put together a teamwork of university, industry, government people to do just almost miraculous things.
And what are you doing these days with yourself?
Well, I'm very thankful to be here at this race. I mean, this is a new thing for me, and it's very exciting. I'm writing a science fiction story, and now that our anniversary activities are pretty much over with,
except for right here. Why, I'm going to get back and working on that science fiction story.
Well, thanks so much. It must be the most fantastic thing. And now let's go down to another fantastic person, Mike Joy.
Thank you, David. Most of the teams take this occasion just to look at tire wear and to add fuel so they can go the next green flag run. Darrell Waltrip came in and they added a lot of rear spoiler. They have to run that rear blade at least a 45-degree angle, and Waltrip's crew, a little unscientifically, bumped it up a few degrees to give more downforce on the back. Michael Waltrip and a couple of other teams, though, did take on tires on this yellow flag stop.
And Darrell Waltrip got himself in trouble, Mike. He pitted too early. He and Rick Mast both came in, and they're going to restart on the rear. Car number 17, the two-time winner of this event. CBS Sports coverage of the Die Hard 500 continues after this message and a word from your local station.
Here's to the cowboy, still a modern-day hero, standing up for what's right as he rides across this land. He still earns every dollar to pass through his hands. So here's to the cowboy as he heads for the mountains. No place he'd rather be than right here. Come on along and head for the mountains of Bush.
Back in the older days, you know, before we had all the technology we have today with the computers and all the engineers, we was kind of self-made mechanics and race car drivers when the dirt was hitting us in the face and things like that. You know, we still got some of the tools around which we use today. If any tool was ever made better, it'd have to be made by Craftsman.
1,600 Craftsman hand tools, made in America, guaranteed forever.
You just had your wrenches and you just had your box of tools and a race car and you went racing.
Only at Sears.
Wednesday, Florida's Republican candidates for governor answer questions from an audience of your neighbors. Eyewitness News anchor John Wilson hosts an Our Times town meeting, Wednesday at 8.
Fuel. It's got to be the best, especially when you fire up. It's got to provide efficient turnover. It's got to be lean and have some rare qualities. A WD brand steak from Winn-Dixie. It'll definitely get your motor racing. Oh, the car? It takes high test.
Year after year, Ford F-150 is the one truck that's put more of this country on the road than any other. And with a $199 a month lease, loaded with driver's side airbags, air conditioning, and lots more, this F-150 is going to stay out front. Ford F-150, the best looking, hardest working truck at $199 a month, only at your local Southern Ford dealer.
Your Southern Ford dealers, we put the country on the road. Oh, we put the country on the road.
Meet the Republicans who want to be your governor at Our Times town meeting Wednesday at 8.
Well, they've completed 16 laps when they get here. 172 laps remaining. First caution of the day for debris on the speedway. Ken Schrader is leading them down up in front with Sterling Marlin second. See Earnhardt third, Bill Elliott fourth, Ernie Irvin is fifth, Jimmy Spencer sixth, Wally Dollenbach seventh, Brett Bodine is eighth, Michael Waltrip ninth, Jerry Labonte 10th, Mark Martin, Jeff Bodine 12th, Bobby Labonte 13th, Jeff Gordon 14th, John Andretti 15th on the start. Your reaction to watching it from up here thus far, Richard, as opposed to down there?
Well, it looks a little closer up here than what you see down there. When you're down there, you sort of tunnel vision, just watching what right in front of you, or maybe what's beside of you. But here, you see them all. And you say, man, I wouldn't do nothing like this if I was out there, but we did.
More nervous up here than down there.
Well, yeah, really. I'm glad I'm up here. I'm watching from up here. If I'd ever come up here and watched, I probably wouldn't have never got down there and run.
I felt the same way, Richard. You mentioned Ken Schrader was leading. He's back and forth now. He did not make a pit stop. I suspect that this is a planned situation that they're planning on making only 3 pit stops during the afternoon, and they'll make them so that they can make this race on these 3 stops, and let them fall where they will.
Yep, quickly go dropping back, and here you see that car number 4, Sterling Marlin, is wailing on through. With him comes Earnhardt, Ben Elliott, Schrader back to fourth. Spencer, let's watch these front 3 go a little further back in the field. Here you see Schrader. trying to catch him up. Jimmy Spencer another time.
And Spencer gets a little help from Ernie Irvin as they pull out together to go on the inside. There's not much Ken Schrader can do about it. Two cars drafting together can run faster than one. These three drafting up front are running faster than all the rest of them because they're pulling away a little bit.
Well, what happened, we started on a restart, and everybody was one right behind the other one. There wasn't no side-by-side stuff, so they'll have to run a few laps to get side-by-side, and then it'll all catch back up again.
49.1 lap time last time around.
195 miles an hour, Ken. That's faster than they qualified by a couple of miles an hour.
Marlin fades up the track. Here's Elliott to the inside. He loves this track. Look at him dig. Marlin back for the lead. Here's Elliott for second place.
Bill Elliott has not won since 1992. You know how hungry he is.
Spencer, fourth. Irvin, fifth. Schrader, sixth. And Dallenbach, seventh. Right behind him, Terry Labonte in eighth. Into the Schrader pits. Here's Dr. Dick Bergman.
Along with Ken Howes, his crew chief, most everybody else did it. You didn't. Why not?
I'm not sure. I think I just messed up, really.
I didn't think the whole field would come, and we didn't want to get back and restart. Give them a big jam.
Sometimes
today's tires. Tires you do fun.
Ned, there goes your strategy.
Yeah, that's right.
But it could work out.
Who knows?
That's what's
interesting to see.
That's
Elliott. Excuse me. Elliott for the lead.
That's what's interesting about running the race. You just take what they give you and do the best you can.
Bill Elliott out in front. Can he stay there and lead this lap? He's not led a race since Darlington back in March. Getting a standing ovation as Bill Elliott crosses the stripe, and it's even between Ernie Irvin on the inside, Sterling Marlin on the outside. Earnhardt pressed right in there with Ernie Irvin. Interval first to 15th, 0.3 of a second. Wow. That's racing was the best.
That's crowded.
Earnhardt fading as that draft on the outside picks him up.
He pulled out in front of Jimmy Spencer. He figured Spencer might be able to push him a little bit faster than he was going, so he decided to give that route a try. Wally Dallenbach doing a great job in the Richard Petty car here, staying right up there in the draft. Now, Richard Petty was one of the best that's ever been at drafting Ken. And so I guess you passed along some of that knowledge to Wally.
Well,
Richard?
you try to talk to him a little bit about it, but all your talking doesn't do any good if you don't get in those circumstances. So you sort of have to learn to do it by the seat of your pants.
Roof cam as Wally Dallenbach gets pressed on the inside. Spencer moving up for Richard Petty.
Ooh, Spencer, yes, he did get into Sterling Marlin just a little bit.
Now, guys, what does that feel like when you're riding along and somebody thumps on? I mean, do you really hear it? Do you feel it?
It takes your breath.
Yeah, you definitely feel it.
Whoops. See, Bodine's up in there. This is the first time he's got up that far.
And Mark Martin also in that group. Wally Dallenbach right up there. And this is what we mentioned a moment ago, this tri-oval. How many times did you take the high side up there at Daytona, work that tri-oval? Why do you like that high side in the tri-oval area?
Nobody got in your way when you got up there. You was on one there. You get the full draft like that because the draft comes out behind the car and the car turns a little bit. It's still going out behind the car, not beside it.
Look at this, 3 wide, and in the middle is Spencer. And as Ned Jarrett pointed out, that's the one lane you don't want to be in. That can put you reverse back and forth.
And there's trouble back behind this lead pack coming off of turn 2. There's the car number 14 of John Andretti and the car number 16 of Ted Musgrave.
Musgrave and Andretti bringing out the second caution of the day as they came off from turn 2. This happening in lap 22. Now they're racing back to the line as they come to the stripe. It will be Elliott first, Irvin second as they come up to the line. Earnhardt will be third. Across the line in fourth is Marlin, followed by Bodine, Dallenbach, and Jimmy Spencer. The 14 and 16 cars in trouble, John Andretti and Musgrave, were battling for 17th at the time of the incident. This happened in lap 22. Actually, this happened in lap 23. They were working the 23rd lap when this took place. So we'll be back with more of the story. We're in the second caution of the day here in the Die Hard 500 at Talladega, Alabama.
Paul Azinger returns to defend his title at the PGA Championship. What is it about Ford Taurus that makes it America's best-selling car? Is it Taurus SHO with its amazing handling and 24-valve, 220-horsepower performance, its driver-oriented interior, or the unique ways SHO finds to reward the driver like no other performance sedan? Ford Taurus SHO. Another reason why Taurus is the best-selling car in America. Again.
The only place you'll want to buy tires this weekend is America's #1 tire store, Sears. Because America's #1 tires, Goodyear, are all on sale. Huge savings on all Wranglers, all Eagles, all Aquatreds, all Goodyear weather handlers, a Sears exclusive. Through Saturday, all Goodyears are on sale at Sears Tire and Auto Center. For tires, batteries, brakes, and shocks, we're driven to satisfy.
I went from probably 300 miles on a full tank to almost 400.
America is talking about split fire.
I'm probably getting, I would say about 20 miles more per tank full, and that's a lot for me.
And when you're driving a four-wheel drive vehicle, you need all the extra gas mileage you can get.
I have them on my motorcycle, my boat, and my car.
I love them. Split fire. At $5.99, it only costs more till you use it.
Debbie, these shots are fabulous. Beautiful, Debbie.
Better than the last time, Tony?
Absolutely. It's my job to make sure people look good. A few weeks ago, while doing test shots with Debbie, I noticed something. Dandruff. So I told her about Head & Shoulders. You see, regular shampoos merely rinse flakes away, so they could come back. But look, Head & Shoulders help stop flakes from even forming. See the difference? Yeah, picture perfect. Head & Shoulders turns dandruff problems into beautiful hair.
Today's overhead shots are courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp, Stars and Stripes, based in Pompano Beach, Florida. At the controls, Captain Richard Daniels, Burbank, California. See John Andretti's car being brought in. It was back out of the top 40 in the first day of qualifying. It was able to get an engine, and it picked it up to 21st position. And he had rolled up in that battle for 16th. He got into this confab with Ted Musgrave. Mike Joy has a report from the pits, folks.
Well, you see this camera that we showed you back in June from Michigan and Dale Earnhardt's pit, where they record each stop from above and then replay it for the crew members. There are now 8 of them along pit road after that day, and I suspect there will be more. Andy Petrie's just finished a stop here for Dale. And Andy, Richard, did he give you guys heart failure when he called in and said he thought he'd lost the motor?
Still ain't got my breath.
What happened? It looked like he just got out of the draft, and the draft's so important here, it must have felt like he'd broken the motor.
Well, that's what, you know, he came back a couple laps later and said that's what it felt.
But he's okay now.
Yeah, hopefully we'll find out here in a minute. It seems to be.
Well, they resuscitated everybody here in the Earnhardt pit, and of course, as soon as Dale got back in clean air, he got back up toward the front, but it was a tense moment, and there were some long faces here.
Going for a 3rd straight Talladega win, Dale Earnhardt. Richard Childress breathing a little easier. Earnhardt had said he went out and bought himself a new Learjet, $3.6 million. He says, you drive better when you're in debt. Either of you gentlemen speak to that?
That would put you in debt. We put me in debt. I don't know about him.
Here's David Hobbs with Ted Musgrave.
Ted Musgrave has started into the race. What happened out there? I'm not quite sure which car it is. You can see by my windshield there that there's a lot of grease on it. So somebody up front there was dropping some, and side-by-side racing here at Talladega, you're pretty tight. And, you know, we were running through that little mess, and the 14 car and I got together coming off of turn 2. You know, I was running pretty good. He might have pushed up a little bit in the grease and got into me, nothing intentional, but it took us out of contention for the day. Tough story there. Musgrave from Wisconsin, and now down to Dick Berggren.
And I'm in Bill Elliott's pit, where there are a lot of smiles. You only took 2 tires on that last pit stop. Car seems to be running well. What's your strategy from here, Mike?
Well, we're trying to get fuel mileage and stuff we need, you know, just kind of see how it's going to play out here.
we just took two because the cars, you know, the car seems to be good. He said it's great. He said you don't have to put tires on it, but if you see people, they'll put two on, and then, you know, they'll be back a little bit. Then you'll see people they won't put on, they'll be up front. So we're kind of trying to play it where at the end of the race we won't have to put no tires on and be up front.
Well, it's early in the show, but they're all planning for those last couple laps.
Elliott has fallen from first to eighth in these pit stops. He's won 4 of his first 5 starts with Junior Johnson. Since then, he's only won, what, a race in his last 60-61 events with Junior?
Yeah, he won the last race of the 1992 season at Atlanta after winning 4 in a row.
Now, I understand that shipping a lot of red paint over to Dawsonville, Georgia.
A lot of rumors floating around about what Bill Elliott will do for 1995, and he is very mum on the subject.
How about Richard Petty for next year? All
He's
set?
very mum on the subject.
We thought we might get a story out of it.
Well, I'd like to have a story, and I'm trying to put it together, you know?
Right. Let's take a look at the point standings as we went into today's battle. Earnhardt up in front with a healthy lead over Ernie Irvin in second spot, and Rusty Wallace has been KO'd early. If you're just joining us, Wallace is already down. Could be a break for the rest of those guys like Mark Martin. And remember, Martin had a very slow start as far as winning, then came on and won 5 last year. Let's go back to David Hobbs.
John Andretti, a disappointing end to the Die Hard 500. What happened out there?
We were just really running along and just running side by side, and unfortunately, but and then the 16 car, for whatever reason, wasn't up high enough or something, or lost control, and we got together. It's real unfortunate for both of us.
I see a lot of oil on your windscreen, and there was on his as well. Was it oily out there?
Yeah, it's after the pit stops. A lot of guys are they screw all the fuel out and things, and you know, we just didn't bother to clean it. We got a lot of that from that second pit after that first pit stop.
Well, a disappointing end to a great day for John Andretti. He qualified so well.
And this may be the car that had the trouble. They're checking the 22 car. They say that earlier, Bobby Labonte was one of the ones they were looking at that may have been dropping oil. He's been in and going back out again here. That didn't look like a very close scrutiny in the car, but he's back out here, and they were saying a while ago they were looking at 22 for dropping oil.
Well, I'm sure NASCAR takes a close look at whoever they think it might be.
The speed limit on pit road today is, what, 65 miles an hour, and Todd Bodine got caught at his car number of 75, so he's back in the rear of the field now.
That's the penalty. If it's on the caution flag, they either, if you go too fast coming in, they penalize you while you're stopped, 15 seconds. But if you do it going out, then they bring you back in, and that means go to the rear end of the line.
Are you totally satisfied, Richard, with the idea of having the speed limit on pit road all times?
Not all times. I think pit stops, under caution, speed limit's fine. Under racing conditions, I think they need to change them and put them back and do the best you can.
Dick Berger.
With Bill Davis, he is with Bobby Labonte, who was just in for the pit stop. What's wrong? Are you guys the ones leaking oil?
Yeah, we were, definitely. We had there's a heater in the oil tank, and just a little 038 bulb holds it, and it backed off. The whole ring got loose and was leaking oil, but it's fixed. It's going to be fine now.
No more leaks?
No more.
Okay, they're ready to go.
Going on board with Ricky Rudd, getting set, taking a look at some telemetry here. As we get ready another time, they'll come by to complete 27 laps as they take green. 27 of 188.
But you see, he starts off in second gear. He'll then switches to third gear. He'll stay in that gear for a little while before he gets enough RPMs to change to fourth gear. He's climbing on RPMs now up to about 7,000. Still in third gear. He'll get up close to 8. When he makes there, he changes the gear, and you see the RPMs drop back to 6,000 once he gets into fourth gear.
Riding with Mark Martin in 12th position, back with the lead. And look at this. Here's Ernie Irvin scooting out in front. He's had a lot of bad luck in the past several races, but for the moment, he and Jimmy Spencer underneath. Roy Allen leave a little room, and it looks like Schrader moving back in. I beg your pardon, it's Fred Bodine moving back in.
Fred Bodine has the best race car today. Third position.
Earnhardt fourth, Marlin fifth, Elliott sixth. On board with Wally Dallenbach. Here comes Jeff Bodine up on the outside, Ned.
And Mark Martin. Wally caught down on the inside. Not a whole lot he can do. He doesn't have a lot of help. Ricky Rudd pulls up behind him now, but those cars on the outside have the momentum build up there, and they just motored right on by. Here comes Michael Walker. He's trying to get by.
29 laps complete this time, 77 miles, and no driver has led more than 4 consecutive laps out here today, Ned. Really mixing it up.
Not surprising. We see a lot of lead changes here at Talladega. Loy Allen goes very high in the car number 19. Michael Waltrip gets up there and has to back off a little bit. Spencer's car high once again. He was right up there behind the car number 28 of Ernie Irvin a moment ago. Now he's dropping back a little.
With 29 complete, still 25 cars battling up in front. 2 cars trying to break away at the moment. See Ernie Irvin trying to scoot away for just a moment. Brett Bodine right along with him. Irvin has led 16 of the 18 Winston Cup races. One time he led 12 straight this year. Look at Earnhardt at number 3.
Now it looks like Mark Martin is going to pull up there and maybe help Earnhardt get by Bill Elliott.
Earnhardt in third.
Maybe you can't help him. Wally Dallenbach comes up there and he's going to help Bill Elliott. So
who's your friend?
Yeah, you don't have me this time.
Take no enemies, right? No prisoners.
Mark Martin back on the inside, working Dallenbach high at 33-degree banking. Have a report on Jimmy Spencer. Mike, what's the story?
Well, Ken, we've seen him a couple of times up high between 3 and 4. This last time he reported that someone behind snuck up under his left rear quarter, took the air off his spoiler, and he had to gather the car back in by letting it slide up the racetrack till he could regain control. And he got around another lap, got back down to the bottom group after racing once again. Nothing wrong with the car.
There's Dale Jarrett making his run on the outside in the 18. Looking very strong out here today. He's in 18th position at the present time. Further back in the field to see Jeff Gordon mixing it up right in the middle of things here. On board with Ricky Rudd for a moment. Car 10, he's in 9th position. See Michael Waltrip just in front of him there.
Michael Waltrip and Wally Dallenbach running side by side. A moment ago when we saw them, Waltrip was on the outside and Dallenbach on the inside. They've just switched that role.
Ricky Rudd, own racing team these days. Got himself that incredible victory up at Loudon, New Hampshire, from New England. Sold that event out. Now we understand new track in 1996 in the Los Angeles market. Boy, that'll be something to get back out to California, won't it? So these cars run out there in the largest automotive market in the world.
Yeah, that's a good market area. NASCAR has wanted to get back in. It would be good for all of NASCAR Winston Cup racing to get back in that area. Roger Penske to build a 2-mile track. That's right. To manage things.
Yep. And of course, that's home turf for him. He's played for Rams out there. Ran Riverside and ran it so well for so many years.
He did a good job with Riverside, and then the people moved in, built all the houses around it, so he had to move out.
On board of the Lake Speed, back in 12th position. Bud Moore car. Hanging right on to Bodine. Here's Ricky Rudd. Down on the inside, inching along. And there's Greg Sachs coming into the picture. Had a very good run going at Pocono last week. And had trouble late in the going. Up in front, Elliott back in front. Ernie Irvin on the high side. All of this at over 190 miles per hour. Running order. This is after 31 laps have been completed here. 82 and 4/10 miles. You'll run down all the way through the field so you can check your favorites. Watching it live on CBS this afternoon, it's the Die Hard 500 from Talladega, Alabama, where for the moment Bill Elliott has the lead in his Ford.
Many of these positions that we're seeing are changing a couple of times a lap, but that's the way they were the last time around.
Yeah. They could never find a way to get official lead changes all the way around, not just on the start-finish line. The numbers would be astronomical.
Yes,
look at this 3 wide. Brett Bodine down on the inside. Mark Martin in the middle. And up on the high side, Michael Waltrip. And it is Brett Bodine that got left out and dropped back a couple of spots.
But when the front runners pulled down to the inside groove, that was exactly what he wanted to do, so he picked up their draft, and he's right back in the line he wants to be.
So it's Elliott first, Earnhardt second, Sterling Marlin maintaining that third spot. Holding on is Ernie Irvin in fourth, and Wally Dallenbach into fifth. Very optimistic run on that Petty Enterprises car. I understand a guy named Michael Kennedy over in North Carolina put some engines together for you.
Mike does all the restrictor engines for us, and last couple of races not been right up to par, but he done some extra work, it looks like, and really got it working good. So
some of us remember when he built those engines for number 18 off the pace.
Dale Derrick coming into the pits now. Certainly an unscheduled pit stop for him.
This at lap 35. And it looks like he's going right back. Joe Gibbs' car out. Jarrett running in 17th position when there was a problem. Here's Dick Burke.
Well, Ken, what a difference a few races make. Bill Elliott took the same car he's been leading with this afternoon to Daytona just 3 weeks ago. He had to take a provisional to get into the race, finished 19th. Well, they've been working on it ever since, and I'd say they've done a pretty good job on that car.
Great job on it. Watch it out in front. Earnhardt in second. Marlin staying in this race, and yeah, you see Ernie Irvin back up to third. We're going to see a lot more of Sterling Marlin and the rest before the day's over.
Looking back on it, it was a great race, and it was a competitive race, and I think if there's anything I take pride in is that it was a fast race. It was before the restrictor plates, and you know, we were hauling the mail, and that was fun. This racetrack was fun when we ran that fast.
What is it about Ford Taurus that makes it America's best-selling car? Is it the number of ways it finds to protect you and your passengers? Its confident feel on the road? Or the fact that we improved it over 50 ways to make it the best Taurus ever? Whatever the reasons, you've made Ford Taurus the best-selling car in America. Again.
Monroe Sensatrack, road sensing shocks and struts. Designed to give you extra control during a swerve. Extra control over rough roads. Monroe Sensatrack gives you both extra control and ride comfort automatically. Monroe Sensatrack, like 2 shocks in 1. Call 1-800-STRUT now for a Monroe Sensatrack dealer near you.
It's new.
Introducing Thompson's Water Seal Ultra Waterproofer.
It's better.
Easy to see coverage. Dries clear.
It's best.
The best multi-surface waterproofer you can buy. Beats the competition hands down. New Thompson's Ultra.
Not just better, best.
Get off the lights on. It's a Sears Die Hard, no charge.
Across America, people are witnessing a better approach to car care.
Don't worry, you have the Bridgestone Road Handler warranty package. Thanks a lot.
It's an approach that gives you total satisfaction and total confidence. At Sears Tire and Auto Center, we've brought in the best selection of name brand tires. And when it comes to price, we won't be undersold. We offer the protection of free emergency jump starts with the Die Hard battery, road hazard coverage, and a coast-to-coast warranty on all brake work.
Take it from your dad, Archie. Always bring your car here.
Sears Tire and Auto Center. We're driven to satisfy.
Coming by to complete 39 laps, 103 miles of the 500 miles to be run today at Talladega, Alabama. There you see the top 3, Earnhardt, Irvin, Elliott from the blimp. Give you a little idea of just how far back that second group is, which includes Wally Dallenbach, Michael Waltrip, Brett Bodine, Lake Speed, Mark Martin, Jeff Bodine.
They were almost 2 seconds in front, but now, led by Wally Dallenbach, that second group's beginning to close in. Of course, part of what caused that is Earnhardt went around Bill Elliott, and that slowed the front runners a little bit, allowed the second group to pick up just a little bit.
They actually came by 3 wide here once while we were away on a commercial break. Now they've strung it back out, single file. The express train is working for Earnhardt at the present time. 5-time Die Hard 500 champion, Earnhardt leading. Won it in 83, 84, 90, 91. Won it in 93. He keeps it right. 94 will be another time around.
And we got another top driver, car number 4, Sterling Marlin, the Daytona 500 winner, is in the pits, an unscheduled pit stop for him.
Running in 13th position as he pulls on pit road. Here's David Hobbs.
Well, Ned, I'm with your unfortunate son. Dale, what happened? Third engine just this morning.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. The car was pretty good, but apparently burned a piston for some reason. We've had our share of problems this week. Last year these races were so good to us, and this year they've really been a pain to us.
How did you feel the car was running in the conditions today?
I was in pretty good shape. The car was good. I got a little loose the one segment. We made an adjustment. The car was really good right there. I was looking forward to a fun race.
Well, a very disappointed and a very patient Dale Jarrett. Back to you.
Sterling Marlin's car was on pit road for approximately 20 seconds and has gone a lap down as the field just overwhelmed him. Here are your leaders another time. Earnhardt first, Irvin second, Elliott third, and the interval evaporates. Here you see Dallenbach closing right into that top 3 that had him covered by about 20 car lengths. And you're on board with Wally Dallenbach Jr. as he brings the field down another time off that short straightaway leading into this big tri-oval area. Make them 4 wide when you need to here. That's not what you need to do right now.
No, they can run faster running single file. And now Wally looks up on the outside of Bill Elliott going into turn 1. And Pontiac is strong today, Richard.
Looks like it's handling real good. That's the difference. Come down to the end of the race, maybe that'll make the difference.
Richard Petty alongside of us today, who won this race in 1974. He used an old slingshot, pulled it out of his back pocket, and whipped it on David Pearson, who went by 2 feet. That's the kind of finish we expect around here. Like something 4 seconds difference between the first and second over the last 10, 15 years in this racetrack. Amazing, those finishes. Here's Lake Speed giving us these pictures from car number 15. He is running in 6. We have 38 cars in the lead lap right now, folks.
Lake Speed is up to 4th now.
4th.
Yeah. He followed Wally Dallenbach right up there. Now he wants to pass Dallenbach, moving up on the outside. That slowed both of them down a little bit, but Speed giving the Bugmore Ford a tremendous ride here this afternoon. That depends on who Michael Walker pulls it behind the helm. He doesn't have much choice, it looks like, except to go with Lake Speed.
He's been trying all day to get out of the 43 by himself, but it hasn't worked, so he's going to try something.
There you see Brett Bodine right up in there as well.
See how far back Bill Elliott has fallen? His car didn't slow down. He just got caught in the draft the wrong way. They went by him. He just hasn't been able to get back to position.
8th and 9th. Was Bodine right with him?
A little over a second. Separates first and 11th.
That's Jeff Bodine there, between the Wallaces and the Bodines. Look at the Jeff Bodine car. That's from Ricky Rudd's machine. Elliott around him. Here's Mike Joy of the report.
I'm with Larry McReynolds. He's the chassis specialist crew chief for Ernie Irvin. If Ernie was asking for more spoiler when he was in a pack, how is it now that there's nobody right behind him?
Well, we're even okay when somebody's behind us as long as there's somebody in front of us. The leaders is the one that's having problems. A while ago, we've seen Bill get real loose when he was leading the pack, so that seems to be the problem, so we're going to give him a little more spoiler.
I'd like to have that problem running in second place. That's a pretty good spot to be in. Now, Sterling Marlin made a pit stop because of a flat right front tire, and that backs up what Richard said about this caution road speed limit under green. You have to come down here at 65 miles an hour, everybody else going 190, change that one tire, you are going to lose a lap here, and Sterling did.
And losing time right now, and now they get one nose to tail, and that was, I started to say, Michael Waltrip and Wally Dallenbach running side by side was really hurting them. Now they have singled out. You see how far ahead the Lake Speed has pulled ahead of them. He's getting some effect of the draft of the 2 front runners. He'll catch them in a few more laps.
45 laps now. 45 complete. 188th of distance today. Ernie Irvin and Earnhardt Cup racing like the old days of Petty and Pearson. Now take a look at this interval. As you look a little further back to Lake Speed in the field in third. And as you look back further, Michael Waltrip, Wally Dallenbach, and the whole crowd coming on.
A couple of those cars, Richard, are not handling the way they'd like for them to back there in that pack either.
No, I've seen the 11 car go real high that time. There's one up real high there. So what happened, everybody came in and just changed 2 tires. And so now their tires are starting to tell on them and the cars are not handling. So next time you see them stop, they'll be changing all 4 of them.
We mentioned 36 cars in the lead lap. The last of that crowd is Hut Strickland in the very back. Teague is running in 35th. Darrell Waltrip 34th. 33rd is Purvis right now. Harry Gant in his last performance here at Talladega running in 32nd. Bobby Hamilton 31st. And then 30th for the moment is Bobby Hillen, one of his rare Winston Cup performances. So the leader, or leaders, continue as they swap it around. Earnhardt and Irvin here at Talladega.
Now, when you buy a case of quality Valvoline motor oil, you can send away for a Valvoline hat.
Honey, I'm going out. Okay.
And become a member of the Valvoline Performance Team. Join the Valvoline Performance Team, and you'll feel like you're right in the middle of the action. So buy a case and get a hat, plus great deals on Valvoline racing gear and a lot more.
Honey, where have you been? Just out for a little spin.
People who know use Valvoline.
Control is everything. Once you got it, everything else just falls in place. That's why I use this stuff, Pert Plus.
One Smart Shampoo, control-enhancing conditioners for hair that's easy to handle.
It just works. My hair does what I want. That's enough for me.
Pert Plus.
No fuss.
Some credit card companies act like you just touch their cards and suddenly you're transported to a magical fantasy land where everyone speaks French and has 1% body fat. I mean, come on. You use MasterCard at the gas station. Some wonderland, huh? Actually, it is a wonderland. I mean, where else can you fill the tank, get directions, and microwave a burrito all at the same time? And it's smart to use MasterCard because you can keep track of all your spending with one useful monthly statement, which really is ideal. So I guess the gas station is nirvana, only a lot easier to get to. MasterCard, it's more than a credit card, it's smart money.
Dead battery. She says she left her lights on all day. Over.
10-4, I got it. Out. When you buy a Die Hard, you get a lot more than the power of a great battery. You get the peace of mind that comes from Sears Emergency Service. If you ever need a jump start, we'll do it for free. You're all set. Anytime, anywhere. Die Hard. Only at Sears Tire and Auto Center. We're driven to satisfy.
This Die Hard 500 race summary is sponsored by Die Hard, the official battery of NASCAR.
Race summary after 133 miles. There have been 8 official leaders. Lead changes marked at 14 at average speed at 152. Doesn't account for these individual laps at 193 miles an hour. We've had a couple of periods of caution for 8 laps to bring the average down. A couple of cars also out of the race now. Rusty Wallace dropped out with the piston gone in lap number 8. Dale Jarrett's retired with an engine broken on his car. And we've got some racing right now here in this Die Hard 500. Lake Speed has mixed it up, and you're looking from Lake Speed's camera back at the field. But as you're looking back, he's getting caught up. Earnhardt's moving around the outside on him. There's Earnhardt going for the lead to Lake Speed. His best 500 finish was 6th way back in 1981, the year that Pittsburgh, Massachusetts, Ron Bouchard won this race. He's taken that Bud Moore car, put it on the bottom of the racetrack, and scooted into the lead, led himself a lap or 2. There's Dallenbach on the outside in the 43. Ernie Irvin's in there. Jeff Gordon, the 22-year-old, he's mixing it up, and Michael Waltrip.
There are 12 cars in this lead pack, Jim. They pulled away from a second pack of cars that has about 8 cars in it. But Lake Speed, as you pointed out, has done a tremendous job. Bud Moore's cars have won 5 times here at Talladega. So no surprise to see that 15 car running up front. Lake Speed is just giving a great ride.
As they say in every sport, there are old lions and young lions. And for the moment, the oldster Earnhardt and cowed, but here comes this Lake Speed Dallenbach affair. And look at the Jeff Gordon car and Michael Waltrip all in there, fresh faces. Ernie Irvan staying right. Again, here's Speed charging to the bottom, getting some help from Ernie Irvan. Here's Ernie Irvan working right off the back of the 15 car.
I think as Richard pointed out, a number of those cars are getting a little bit loose now. They see everybody else's car loose, so they're doing what they have to do to stay up there as close as they can to the front. Be sure to stay in the draft. Now Earnhardt and Dallenbach and Lake Speed single out, single file.
Wally Dallenbach's best 94 finish was out there on the road course at Sears Point when he came home fourth. Of course, he's won many times in road racing. He was a four-time winner at the 24 Hours of Daytona. He knows those switchbacks.
We totally missed with the road course. That's the reason he's running.
Apparently got the message. Best finish on Dallenbach, 10th on a super speedway 3 times, and most recently at Dover, Delaware back in June. Let's take another look at that telemetry there. Lake Speed.
Okay, he's running at almost 7,000 RPMs. As you look at the numbers on the left of your screen, you can see he gets up 6,900, 7,000 there for just a moment. Did you see that speed? Up to 194 at one point, and then it varies 189 to 194 or so. So they're getting on with it down the straightaways here. It backs off a little bit in the turns.
Not much reason to back off around here. We're working lap 55 right now.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you back off the accelerator. It just means that the turns, the banking scrubs off a little bit of speed.
Take some speed down. You're pretty calm and collected watching that 43 have its best run of the year, Richard Petty. It's up there in second spot. Dyson Earnhardt, Lake Speed right behind him in this front group. Ernie Irvan back there in fourth.
It's a little early to get too excited. If this is right down the last 2 or 3 laps, it might be jumping and hollering, but right now we've still got a long way to go in this race, and no matter how far back you go, these people are still capable of winning this race.
David Hobbs has a report for us.
Well, as you can see, they're busy flailing away on Ted Musgrave's car here, trying to get it back in the race, and just a few stalls away, they're doing the same to John Andretti. Now, you may ask why, of course, they're bothering to do this in a race. The fact is, of course, NASCAR points go so deep, and the Winston Cup winner's going to win over 3,000 points this year, and, of course, every point is going to count. So there we are, Ken, back to you.
So they are trying to get the Musgrave car and the Andretti car back in this race. We'll give you an update on that as the day progresses. See those folks back out again. Unfortunate moment as they collided. Running, what, 16th, 17th spot they were dicing for. Got some oil in the windshield, and away they went off turn 2.
Ted Musgrave was in 11th place in the Winston Cup point standings coming into this race.
For the last few laps, I think everybody just sort of decided that, hey, let's just stay in line, keep up. You know, when we start making pit stops and things start happening, we'll see what's going on. Right now, they're just out there making time so they can get on closer to the end of the race.
Todd Bodine has scooted up to the 15th spot. Remember, he was penalized, started off at the back, and restarted at the rear. He's caught speeding on pit road over that 65-mile-an-hour limit.
So he has made a pretty good run in the front from back there.
Take a look at this lead draft. Earnhardt stays first. And it's good to see those old Petty colors running up in second spot at the present time. And Bud Moore at car number 15, maintaining third. Lake Speed at the controls.
Ken, not too many laps ago, there were 12 cars in the lead lap. They got to racing side by side, and all of a sudden, about 4 or 5 other cars have caught up to them. So now there are about 15 or 16 cars in the lead draft.
Well, what I said about 2 minutes ago, they ain't holding true. These cats just done jumped out there now and decided to race a little bit.
They can't stand it, can they?
No, they can't stand it.
Hey, tell them on the radio. Richard Petty said you guys are running single file too much. You better get in there and stand up.
I didn't have to tell him that. One cat just thought he caught somebody going in a corner and he pulled out. This is an automatic replay.
Scoot there. I believe Brett Bodine moves down on the bottom, trying to pick himself up a spot. So, CBS Sports coverage of the Die Hard 500 will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
It's the concert event of the year. Phil Collins in concert, presented exclusively by Sears.
This tour is going to be good fun, but also an opportunity to help the less fortunate. Together, Sears and I are going to be working to raise money for the homeless in the communities we visit. Why not have a good time and help a good cause?
I have 1,900,000. Now say 2 million.
There's a sucker born every minute. That one line alone drove the art world up the wall, and probably will again tonight. This is CBS.
At Chevron, we know your car may fit you just right. But over time, the wrong gasoline can cause its performance to shrink. May we suggest 93-octane Chevron Supreme with Tetraline, a simple way to help stretch your car's performance back into shape. Chevron, simply smarter.
Where the top crew, like Sam Johnson and his kids, get what it takes to put a little color back in the old homestead, let's go back to square one. Builder Square has more interior and exterior paint values than you can shake a stir stick at. Choose from Glidden or Dutch Boy with free computer matching of any color. Whatever you need to cover, they've got you covered at great square deal prices.
A better brush will eliminate streaks.
Builder Square.
They'll get you squared away.
This is a current view of Sky Tower radar. Watch for a complete forecast coming up on Eyewitness News at 6.
Die Hard 500 is sponsored by Sears Die Hard, the official battery of NASCAR. Goodyear, #1 in tires. And by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car.
"60 laps complete, 159 miles. In the rearview mirror here at the Die Hard 500, Talladega, Alabama. Earnhardt's in front. Irvin has come back to second, averaging well over 190 miles per hour. Here's Musgrave's car, still trying to run, still trying to collect points toward that Winston Cup point payoff at the end of the year. You see Earnhardt in first, Irvin in second, Lake Speed in third, Wally Dallenbach in fourth, and David Hobbs has this report in the garage.
Well, Tim Steele in the number 12 car came in, and we thought he had some sort of a problem. And his problem was Tim Steele has been feeling ill all week, and the heat here finally got to him, and they were trying to administer water and all sorts of other things. Oxygen, they put water down his back, ice down his back, and they finally managed to get him out of the car, and they take him to the medical center for resuscitation. So poor old Tim Steele's going to lose at least it all. This intense heat finally got to him. Down to Mike Joy.
Steve Meal is the crew chief for Mark Martin. He's in that lead draft. Steve, is everybody just kind of riding, waiting for that next pit stop?
We are, because we're real loose. You know, we got to the back of the line trying to keep somebody off the back of Mark. Probably didn't start with enough spoiler right at the minimum of 40 degrees. We were going to try it for a while and see what happens, but we'll definitely have to put more plate on when we get a caution, even under the green light, because we can't get up in traffic. There's a lot of people filling everybody out. The usual fast people are fast, and got a long ways to go. We just have to see what happens.
What's happening right now is Earnhardt's back on the point. He's got Ernie Irvin to deal with. First and second, the Winston Cup points separated from 93 as they came into today's action. The big story is Lake Speed and Dallenbach having an incredible run here in the early going. Average speed for the race, a very slow 159 miles an hour. These individual laps, and if you're just joining us, we've been under caution twice here today, total of 8 laps. Nothing serious. Once was for debris. Once was an incident that broke up the cars of Andretti and Musgrave. Musgrave is back. Ned?
And I think we'll have pit stops coming up certainly within the next few laps, maybe even before then. If there is no caution, of course, this will be the first green flag pit stops they make today.
Looking at Ricky Rudd in 10th spot. Sterling Marlin.
Now that group of cars has lost the draft of the lead pack. There are about 9 cars that are up front that pull away a little bit from Ricky Rudd.
And Mike Wallace is in that group in the number 90 car. They're having a great afternoon. They had a great qualifying run for them. They qualified 14th here. In fact, that was the fastest of the three Wallace brothers that are out here today. Kenny, Rusty Wallace is already retired. You're just getting into the broadcast today. Rusty had trouble early on, was the first car to retire at lap 8.
The 4 car of Sterling Marlin, he is 1 lap down. Now, when these others stop, he'll be able to run for a little while. If he was fortunate enough to get a caution in that period of time, then he'd be right back in it.
33 cars remain in the lead lap from Ricky Rudd's bumper. There's the view of Sterling Marlin, the winner of Daytona back in February.
The black flag, the 51 car. I don't know whether he's leaking oil or what.
Car number 51 being driven by Jeff Purvis.
There's the lead train, and there's the second group, led by Ricky Rudd at the moment. There's the 75 car, Todd Bodine. He has come up to 15th from the rear, where he had to restart out back. That speed limit infraction on pit road.
That car, the blue car he just went by, was car number 20, being driven by Bobby Hillen today, the Dick LaRosso engine. Bobby has not run many races this year. He quit his regular ride that Mike Wallace did after the second or third race of the year, and is only running a limited schedule.
Brent Bodine to the outside, getting around Schrader down low. That is 11th place that you're watching between the 25 and the 26. Schrader, the winner yesterday in that Grand National race that was, I've seen many races better than what we saw in that Grand National.
It was a tremendous race with no spins. And there were a couple of cautions for debris on the track, but there were no accidents.
So Todd Bodine up to 13th. See Purvis pulling that 51 car in the country time car. Todd Bodine now up to 12. Here's David Hawks.
Well, here comes the Jeff Purvis car, and they're coming in to change the radio. And this is the second time today they've had to change it. He's got absolutely no communications with the pits. They're changing the tires on this car. Of course, this is one of the Hoosier shot tires. Cars today, obviously, going to top it up with gas and hope like heck there's not a caution flag burned in about the next 10 seconds. Cleaning up the grill there, the rubber all rolled up there, stopping the air getting into these engines, which you need today. Tim Steele could have done with a bit more air. Suffering from heat exhaustion, cleaning the car up and fiddling around trying to get that radio in one of those frustrating little jobs that has to be done. But of course, if you can't get it done in a hurry, you can see the two guys working hard up there. As I say, it's the second time today they've had to change this radio, so there may be some sort of malfunction with the wiring for the aerial, which is stopping them having communication with their pits, which in modern day winter cup racing, of course, is absolutely vital. Change all tires, caps are up, change the radio.
Now
still a problem.
Boy, that is a costly situation for them, David. They've already gone 2 laps down. Others will have to make green flag pit stops here pretty shortly, but
Loy Allen is off the pace. Car number 19 having problems. Allen just ran out of gas, apparently. He didn't pit during that second caution period. I think he's run it dry.
Yep, I would say that's the case.
So Allen pulls on to pit road, and that may have a little trouble refiring.
So the others have run 41 laps now as they come by the start-finish line since they pitted. But with the restrictor plates, they can go 47, 48 laps. Maybe some of them might stretch it to as much as 50 laps on a tank of fuel.
Allen, a lap down, was reported in 31st position and losing more time here. And you see Purvis still in there. Boy, what an unfortunate moment. They thought Purvis was going to have a good run. He was tremendously fast yesterday in that final practice period. Here's Dick Berger.
Allen did indeed run out of gas, Ken Squire. In fact, he's out of gas and stalled on pit road. The car isn't moving. The crew has now run down pit road to try to push him off. Why do they run out of gas? NASCAR doesn't allow them to have a fuel gauge, so they have to sort of meter the amount of fuel. They're spraying ether in the hood now to try to get this engine started. Trying to get Loy Allen. He's got a fuel pressure problem. Engine won't fire. Here comes a couple of the guys out from other teams to help him off. still cannot get that engine going. Meanwhile, other teams are plotting their fuel strategy. It looks like somewhere around lap 72, we should see them come. Loyal still has not been able to fire the car. Disappointing afternoon for Loyal. They're going to push it back and try to get it started.
Going more than 2 laps down now. Loy Allen, who sat on the pole 3 times this year and had a great run, qualified third at 193.4. Not working for him right now. Back up front. Here's Earnhardt, Irvin, Lake Speed. Stacking them up 3 high. With room to stack them 5, they say. I've never seen them quite that high. 4 a few times. Look at Dallenbach back there in 4th. And here comes Jeff Gordon underneath Jeff Bodine for 5th. Michael Waltrip hanging tough in that number 30. With him comes Mark Martin.
There's Jeff Purvis down on the inside. He finally got his car going again, but he lost a lot of laps.
Saw Bill Elliott on the tail end of that group back in 9th with Ricky Rudd 10th, showing 29 cars in that lead lap. Getting ready for a fuel stop, expecting the next 2 or 3 laps to see those leaders duck in. Watching Bodine in car number 7. Jeff is being shown in 5th. Jeff Gordon stays 6th. Michael Waltrip 7th. Mark Martin 8th. Elliott 9th. Ricky Rudd 10th.
When they make a pit stop under green, this is really going to separate all the cars, because where you get in pits or where you get off or you sit still a little bit longer, and a half a second makes a lot of distance on the racetrack.
Well, we talked about that so much, and it was so evident again yesterday. If you missed on pit road by a 1/10 of a second, it's so costly. Covering a football field a second, that's a terrible old cliche, but you really see it count on these green flag stops.
Especially on a track where they run as fast as they do. And as Richard said, it's not only how fast they make the pit stop, but how quick they get in, stay under that 65-mile-an-hour speed limit, or stay right up to it. And then when you leave the pit, stay right up to it. And some of them are simply better at it than others.
Okay. So leaders are now pitting. You see the front trio beginning to break off and come onto pit road. Here's Earnhardt coming into his pits. Dallenbach has pulled in as well. Dick Berggren standing by. Lake Speed is in as well. Let's go to the Earnhardt pits.
Well, Ken, they said the car is just fine, but they're concerned about fuel mileage. They didn't want to come in quite this early. They would like to have run a few more laps, but their calculations said they had to come in earlier. So they've taken 2 tires. Mike Joy.
Wally Dallenbach is in for left side tires. Fuel completes his service. He's away. Bill Elliott, Brett Bodine, Jimmy Spencer coming in now. Mike Hill and crew will go around to the right side of Spencer's Ford Thunderbird that won Daytona just a couple of weeks ago. In fact, this will be a 4-tire change for Spencer. It'll put him a bit out of the sequence. Joe Nemechek completing a stop. Jimmy Hensley as well as Jeff Burton as the leaders come by.
These stops at lap 73, 194. 194 miles complete.
And of those cars that stopped that time around, Wally Dallenbach got out second. Bill Elliott is passing him as they try to get up to speed, but Earnhardt was the one that got out quickly, got in and out very quickly, made a good pit stop, and he gained a lot over the whole group of cars.
Where he made his time was after they come out of pit road, he just flat out accelerated the rest of the cars. And he changed right side tires, and I noticed that Dallenbach changed left side tires, so everybody's trying a little bit different strategies.
Steve Grissom's on pit road right now, the number 21 Alabama driver.
Kyle Petty is in as well. Harry Gant going out of the pits. Rick Mast is in the pits. So these are scheduled pit stops.
Looks like Jeremy Mayfield isn't up there in the back end. Cale's car coming along.
Yep.
Earnhardt.
Has he got a problem?
Yes, sir.
Earnhardt coming out of turn number 2. Car number 3. And see him. You see Dallenbach coming by. Here's Earnhardt trying to come back up to speed. Whoops.
He's running down on the inside of the track. He is not going to speed. Look at the cars go by.
He was running really good, and then he just quit. So I don't know what happened. Well, they was talking a while ago they had some kind of problem. They thought he had some kind of problem. So it could be an ignition, something loose or something going in penalty.
So we'll see if he comes back in the pits.
Here is number 3. Looks like he's headed back another time onto pit road. Five-time winner of this event, Earnhardt, leader in the points, looks to be in trouble. Follow the action here, Ned. So here's Dick Berggren.
Well, this is exactly what they did not want to see in contention for the points championship. This engine has a problem. They're not sure exactly what the problem is. There are hands all over it. Ignition system, even in the exhaust area, they are working on it. Hard to say what it is. They've stopped working now, but it is a definite engine problem for Dale Earnhardt. Sits here on pit road as everybody else is going 190 miles an hour.
Dick, I've noticed a number of times, especially this year, and Richard, you might know more about it than I do, but on these restrictor plate engines, sometimes on restarts or after you have slowed the engine down and on restarts again, it has a tendency to burn a piston sometime. We saw it with Rusty Wallace earlier here today. Dale Jarrett had a similar problem right after a caution, and now here's Dale Earnhardt had a problem.
Well, remember, it happened here 2 or 3 years ago, and it happened to Earnhardt right here. Blew an engine a lap after coming back out of the pits. Back to Dick Berggren.
Well, they've just put a plug wire on it. Andy Petrie, did that solve your problem?
No, it's not going to solve it. Maybe we can nurse it around here and see if it'll run long enough to, you know, maybe finish the race, but it doesn't look good right now.
What's wrong with it?
I think burn a piston or something on number 1.
And detonation is the problem. That's why these pistons burn. Some of these engines are as much as 18 points of compression, and the place that's the real danger is not going fast, but going slow. Leaving pit road, getting back onto pit road, that's where they're cooking the engines.
Yeah, I think really what happens is these cars, when they're running wide open on a full tank of gas and the whole deal, they turn them like 6,800, maybe 7,000. When these boys leave the pit, and they're geared for that, and for the gas and for everything, and then all of a sudden, they're running 8,000 through the gears and they burn the piston.
Here's Mike Joy.
It's the gas team go to work on Ernie Irvin's car. Norman Cosimuzzo is the guy with the can in the air. He's been here 8 years. Darrell Ferguson helps him out. He's been there 5 years. Danny Dickerson with the catch can. They've all worked together for 5 years, and they are a fast, hard-working team. Ernie Irvin is away. David?
Well, as you can see, Jeff Purvis is back in the pits yet again. They've got a problem with the engine. One of the water hoses is off, and it's spraying water over the engine and causing a misfire. Can you tell me what's wrong with the engine?
The thermostat housing broke. The bolts are stripped out of it, flowing water out of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thermostat housing broke, spraying water all over the engine. It looks like Jeff Purvis' day is done.
But you're going to have some other days for Jeff Purvis. This is a very talented driver. Clarksville, Tennessee, proved himself in dirt racing. Jeff Purvis is a man to watch for the future in Winston Cup racing.
There's one thing that a racing engine and a street engine have in common. You want them both to last.
Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
To build a race engine that holds up, you have to use the best of everything, and Haviland does that job.
No other leading motor oil offers more complete protection to help your car run better, last longer. Good enough for Robert Yates.
Well, how hard do you want me to push it today? Whatever it takes to win.
Haviland Formula 3. Why add just any motor oil? Add more life to your car.
This is a Goodyear AquaTread with a 60,000-mile warranty, and this is a bucket of water. At highway speeds, Goodyear AquaTread pumps away over a gallon of water every second, thanks to its deep groove aqua channel. Over a gallon a second, that's 396 gallons per mile. Think about it, the next time it's pouring buckets. The all-season AquaTread, only from Goodyear. We say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Who's smarter? This woman went to the home appliance sale at Sears Brand Central. This one went to the beach. Right, getting to this sale is smart. Get great savings on all major appliances, all electronics, and all home office equipment. It's all on sale at the Sears Brand Central Home Appliance Sale. Again, who's smarter? This woman went to Sears. This woman is an astrophysicist. Ooh, that's a tough one.
A new wind is rising, bringing change, bringing the all-new Ford Windstar, a totally new minivan. Windstar is the only minivan that combines standard dual airbags, 5-mile-an-hour bumpers, and 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. Plus, it meets all passenger car safety standards. It's safety that takes the minivan in a whole new direction. The all-new front-wheel drive Ford Windstar. The future of minivans begins today.
Bill Linden and Suzanne Plachette have a family problem.
I lost my job. She kicked me out of the house. I want to move back in. I need a place to stay. Hi, Dad.
The Boys Are Back, coming this fall.
215 of 500 miles, 81 of 188 laps complete as Ernie Irvan is in front. Bill Elliott is in second place after these pit stops under green. And falling further back has been Dale Earnhardt. He's now some 4, maybe 5 laps back. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
He's sitting here in the pits, Ken. The engine is silent. They have removed 2 of the spark plugs in the car. They've got a blower on Earnhardt as he just sort of sits dejectedly behind the wheel. The crew no longer working feverishly on the engine. They know this thing is done, but they're going to try at least to patch it up enough so that he can go out and ride around and try to pick up some points. Interestingly enough, if he fails to finish, this will be the first 1994 race Earnhardt has failed to finish. He's the only one in the top 10 with that distinction so far. Everybody else has failed to finish already.
Came in 93 points back as we started today. And he has been trying to, or rather 93 up on the Ernie Irvan effort and trying to extend that. That's not going to happen. They're going to have a point battle at something going to Indianapolis.
Well, I don't think there's any question about it. Irvan has had trouble in the last 2 races coming into this one today. And as Dick Berggren pointed out, Earnhardt has been very consistent this year. So, yeah, it'll tighten it right back up again going to Indianapolis in 2 weeks.
Now you see the Ricky Rudd car, number 10 in 3rd spot, followed by Wally Dallenbach 4th and Jeff Gordon in 5th. There they are. And let's take a look at the interval between the pair out in front and 3, 4, and 5.
Irvan and Bill Elliott have hooked up in a draft with 2 of them and are able to pull away from Ricky Rudd and the other group.
Earnhardt has come back on the track in car number 3, several laps down, reported at 6. He was in for over 3 minutes. Leaders, Irvan, Elliott. Give you an interval between that 1st and 3rd. There you see that pack. Look at the rest of this gang. Ken Schrader, 4th car in that group, on board right now with Ricky Rudd on the high side. Dallenbach down low. Jeff Gordon mixing it up in there, down on the bottom. So there's a change again. Ricky Rudd slips back in that group. Look who's joining. Got a couple of the Bodine brothers in this as well as Schrader.
Yeah, the whole train's going by the car number 10 of Ricky Rudd. They went by on the inside, and everybody followed the inside lane. And he had no one to draft with up there, so now he's going to get back in line right in front of Brett Bodine.
How do you keep all those lions in a single line here? Keep them on the parade route to get back up in front, Richard, better.
You don't. You know, every once in a while, you'll have your spotters and stuff will just tell them, hey, get in line. You know what I mean? And when they do that, then if they get in line, and a lot of the spotters will work back and forth and say, hey, you're helping us, and we'll help you. You know what I mean? And then they'll get everybody in line, give them a call back up, and then they say, okay, guys, go at it again.
Saw Brad Teague on the back end of that line in car number 52. He's actually 3 laps down, showing a 33rd spot in the Jimmy Means colors. More of the action live on CBS of the Die Hard 500 after these messages.
The only place you'll want to buy tires this weekend is America's #1 tire store, Sears. Because America's #1 tires, Goodyear, are all on sale. Huge savings on all Wranglers, all Eagles, all Aqua Treads, all Goodyear weather handlers, a Sears exclusive. Through Saturday, all Goodyears are on sale at Sears Tire and Auto Center. For tires, batteries, brakes, and shocks, we're driven to satisfy.
I bought my car new in 1970. I drove a hockey team a 190-mile round trip 3 times a week.
Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
I took good care of it. And when I reached 300,000, I thought, I've got to be a pretty good car.
No other leading motor oil offers more complete protection to help your car run better, last longer.
At 600,000, I thought, maybe it could be the Haviland.
Haviland Formula 3.
Back, trying to bring those double stack vacuum pack. You got to like that. Take the space out of big bangs, don't look so big. That's the drag, and they got Reese's. Pringles got more chips, you bet. Triple stacks is what you get. Get the Pringles double stack of chips. Doubly, 100 cents. Yeah! Once you pop, you can't stop.
Opening weekend at Saratoga, plus Zach Padilla defends his world title against Juan Laporte. Next on CBS, with an eye on sports.
Providing today's shots from above, the Goodyear Blimp, Stars and Stripes. The Goodyear Blimp now in its 4th decade of live sports coverage, or the Goodyear Blimps, giving us some great footage here today. Well, there's an old Duke Ellington music classic called I'm Checking Out, Goodbye. And that's what, at the present time, Ernie Irvan and Bill Elliott had in mind. They were moving out in front of the field. They had themselves almost a 3.5-second advantage. This other group is saying, not on this day, not on this racetrack. Here's Earnhardt out. Earnhardt going behind the wall. Earnhardt led 41 laps today. And at lap 89, Earnhardt is out of it. And it's now Ernie Irvan's day to shine, to see if he can get back up in that point battle for the Winston Cup Championship. Well, they had that big advantage. All of a sudden, Dallenbach, Jeff Gordon, Ken Schrader, Jeff Bodine, Ricky Rudd took the advice of Richard Petty up here in the booth. They tucked right into a line, and they've been trying to catch up with this pair.
I think when the front 2 cars of Irvan and Elliott were pulling away, Ricky Rudd was leading that group. Wally Dallenbach pulled out and made a pass. We saw that, and that got the distance a little farther, but once Wally got in front, he's able to pull that group faster than Ricky Rudd was, and so they're picking back up a little bit.
On board with Wally Dallenbach in 3rd, looking at the 4th place man, Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, I think it's sort of settled down right now because they can't help Wally. Wally beat them through the corner, and that's not really making them go on, but the 11 and the 28 are staying right with each other and really working good.
And you see Schrader back there in 5th, followed by Jeff Bodine 6th, Ricky Rudd in 7th in that 190-mile-an-hour train.
They're doing a good job of staying in line. See Ricky Rudd, he's content back there. He was leading this pack not too long ago, but he sees that he's running faster now. He's getting the lap times. He knows he's running faster with Wally Dallenbach up front, so they're picking up speed on the twosome of Ernie Irvan and Bill Elliott.
And that, Jared, it was Earnhardt who was talking about the fact that train in those drafts, if somebody up front doesn't keep them all together, they can really lose time. Right now, with Dallenbach there, they seem to be pulling away.
Yep. Well, talking about Earnhardt, he's out of the race, and David Hobbs is with him.
Well, Dale Earnhardt's here looking pretty disappointed. This point lead of yours getting slim today. What happened?
Racing, you know, we just try to do the best we can, and you have problems. That's what it costs you in a race. So we're running pretty good. It's just these restrictor plates are real critical on gas, and when you miss, you come back out, your RPM's range it don't pick up RPM fast, and it runs a lot of heat in the engine then, and that's when it's most vulnerable to burning the pistons. So, hey, we'll go to the brickyard and go back to racing them.
The car seemed to be handling really well, was it?
Yeah, the car was working great. We were in good shape. I think we've been okay for the day. You know, we'll see what happens. Ernie hasn't finished yet.
Well, there's a guy, Dick Buggett.
On the front row is Jimmy Spencer, who also started on the front row, but now Spencer's deep in the field, not even in the top 10. His crew chief, Mike Hillis, here. Mike, what's happened?
We're coming back, Dick. All we need right now from McDonald's Ford is a caution. We're running as fast as the leaders, and all it took for us was one tire change, and they got us back. It's like the same thing that happened to us at Daytona.
Well, you know how it turned out at Daytona. They won the race.
Right now, they're 24th. Saw Sterling Marlin making an unscheduled stop. No, regular stop.
Yeah, this was a scheduled stop for him. He was off sequence because of the flat tire he had earlier, but you can see he's down on the inside of the racetrack there. The leaders have already gone by, so he goes down a lap once again. He didn't get the caution that he needed in that interval from when the others pitted and when he had to pit.
You heard Earnhardt talking about this, and the day isn't over for Ernie Irvan out there as this point battle heats up. Irvan will have to finish in the top 5 in order to retake that lead in the point standings. It looks now as if Dale Earnhardt will most likely finish the day being credited with 34th position. So that's going to reduce that big bulge he had of 93 points. It's a bit of a saving breath for Rusty Wallace as well, who was out of this race early on lap 8. Here are your leaders. It's Ernie Irvan and Bill Elliott. coming up toward halfway in this event. Take it right there. 94 complete of 188.
I'm not sure we've documented the fact that Joe Nemechek also is in the garage and out of the race.
Indeed, Joe Nemechek, who had been shown among the leaders in the very early going, and that Hendrick car has gone back and looks like it may not be. They'll try to get it back out. Has not made any appearance since he went into pits many laps ago. Interval's now 2 8/10 of a second, man, and that means they're spreading them out again between those two leaders in that second pack.
Yep, they've picked up a little bit. They come up on some lap cars occasionally, and they'll pick the draft up of that. That helps them a little bit, so they take advantage of every little situation. They just put a lap on the car number 98 of Jerry Mayfield, and they picked up the draft of him. That perhaps helped them a half a second on that lap.
Well, those Fords continue to move on up in front with Ernie Irvin. Give you the halfway standing running order right now. This was after 93, coming up on 94, with Ernie Irvin in that Ford Thunderbird that had qualified in 5th position, currently in the lead. Here's that second pack, 3rd and beyond.
Both of those drivers running up front as we watch the rundown. Ernie Irvin and Bill Elliott have both won this race, but they've only won it one time. So they were a couple of those we mentioned at the top of the show that could very well win again here today and get in the category of Darrell Walter, not quite in the category of Dale Earnhardt, who's won so many of these events.
It was Bill Elliott who won it from the pole in '87. Beating the late Davey Allison and Earnhardt by 15/100ths of a second. Ernie Irvin came to victory in 1992. Sterling Marlin got aced out in second, and Davey was third. Back with more in a moment.
Mustang. It is what it was, and more.
You look at some of the wrecks and stuff that I've been in. If we had a diehard in there at that time, we probably could have seen it from the grandstand because it tore all the sheet metal off. And we just take them out of that car and put them in another car and crank it up and go on. Diehard's still going and I'm not, so I guess they're a little tougher than I was.
This bench gets a professional finish with Krylon spray paint. No runs, no drips, no errors. Dries to the touch in minutes. The other brand's still tacky. Wow! What a game!
Good game, Mr. Euchre.
He's a lot tougher than he looks. For a fast, smooth, professional finish, get Krylon.
For the aches and pains and sore shoulders of life, I keep Tylenol around. Have forever. But headaches are different. Headaches, I use Excedrin. Because Excedrin relieves headaches better than Tylenol. How do I know? They have reports and medical research to prove it, but you know what? I really don't care about all that. I use it. That's how I know it's better. I use it.
Excedrin, the headache medicine.
There's one thing that a racing engine and a street engine have in common. You want them both to last.
Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
To build a race engine that holds up, you have to use the best of everything. And Haviland does that job.
No other leading motor oil offers more complete protection to help your car run better, last longer. Good enough for Robert Yates.
Well, how hard do you want me to push it today? Whatever it takes to win.
Haviland Formula 3. Why add just any motor oil? Add more life to your car.
This Die Hard 500 race summary is sponsored by Texaco Haviland. Add more life to your car.
The race summary after 258 miles, 10 different leaders have swapped the lead 19 times. They're averaging 168 miles an hour plus. A couple of cautions for 8 laps in the early going and 8 retirees thus far from this 26th running of the Die Hard 500. Those are the folks no longer with us. Rusty Wallace out. Musgrave's been in and out. Still trying to score some points. Jarrett's retired. Steele is out for sure. Loy Allen is out. Purvis, his engine went away. Nemechek gone. Still thinking we may see a little more of him trying to get some more points. And then Earnhardt's engine broke, and he was out at lap 79. Winston Cup point standings. Earnhardt, Irvin, Wallace. It's going to get a major overhaul before this afternoon's over. Out here on the track, these are your first and second place runners. Two previous winners, one time only, Ernie Irvin and Bill Elliott. You were saying, Richard, that isn't so much a draft. They're just running together, and they're running away from the rest of the field right now.
Yeah, that's what they've been doing. They got the 24 moved up in front of that little pack, and he's running slower than what they did with Wally up there. But right now, like I said, they just make it time. They can't really race with each other because all the cars are not really handling good enough to be able to run wide open all the way around. And then they can't catch up. And the first two are running pretty good. The 28's running wide open all the way around. 11 looks like he's breathing a little in the corner, but with the two of them there's nothing else to drag them down. That's what really makes them better.
There's Bill Elliott doing a good job of drafting. He's doing what you have to do to get the maximum speed out of both of those cars.
Where are they at their best around this track, Ned? Those two leaders. Is there one place where they seem to run a little more efficiently than another?
Well, when they're out there running by themselves, they can run pretty well where they want to, and it isn't going to slow them down that much because the high banks here at Talladega, you can run high or low depending on how your car is set up. And so Elliott's just following Irvin. They're going around the car up there now, so he goes up on the high side, no problem. Elliott follows him right around there as well. So, and when they come up on traffic, they pick up the draft of those cars. That helps them 4/10 to a half a second a lap.
Really, the 11 car is not helping the 28 car at all. In fact, he might be hurting him a little bit because he's falling off so much in the corner that it's probably the 28's running wide open, the 11 not. And he's just keeping up, catching up down the straightaway. But right now, he is not helping the 28 car any at all.
When he's that far back, he isn't. That's right. Earlier, he was running on his back bumper, but apparently his car is getting a little bit loose now. Tires getting heated up, and he's not able to stay up there where he needs to be effective in the track.
From the fifth place car, Wally Dallenbach's roof camera. Here he is making a challenge. Again, they're coming out 3 wide.
He is down. 2 laps down the racing.
Trying to get himself through there. To find himself a hole in the bottom of the racetrack.
No, I mean, it's looking good. I guess I do the same thing. So, if there's somebody in front of you, you're going to try to pass and get it on there, how far you're behind, how far you're in front.
I think what will happen, though, once Marlin has got out in front, see, he came in the pits not long ago, changed the right side tires, so he has fresher tires than the other. He has run that pack of cars down from pretty far back, and with those new tires, that has helped him to do that. He'll pull this crowd faster than they were running.
Because he's about halfway through a pit stop, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they're halfway through. He's just through.
Schrader and Dallenbach side by side out of the 33-degree banking here at Talladega, Alabama. See Michael Waltrip up on the point now in that group. Wally Dallenbach, no one to play with back there, getting overwhelmed from Ricky Rudd's vantage point. A look back through the field. And a gander at Lake Speed there in that number 15 car. Right with him. And you're on board with Lake Speed as he looks up for Ricky Rudd in the number 10. 7th spot. Here's Mark Martin getting back into it another time as they swap him around. And Wally finds his way up through on the outside. Got left on his lonesome down to the bottom of the track. It looks so smooth as you watch them from the grandstand, but as you get a driver's eye view, you can really get a sense of what those springs are loading up with down there in those corners.
There's a lot of pressure on the cars, on the springs and shocks when they go into these 33-degree banks at Talladega.
You get a whole lot of G-force down into the seat and also sideways. So if there's any bumps out there, you bet you feel it.
For a day or two after?
No, they ain't that bad. Just the bumps when you hit the walls is the one that lasts for days.
Now they're just 23 laps, 23 cars in the lead lap. Rick Mask has just been lapped by the leaders.
That means that Jeff Burton is the fellow that's on the bubble, if you will, in that lead lap. Jeff Burton had such a great ride at Pocono a week ago. His brother failed to qualify for this race after he finished 4th at Pocono just 7 days back.
Now, Ward Burton finished second at
You're
Pocono,
right. And Jeff
failed
won. 8 3/10 of a second between those two leaders, Irvin and Elliott, and the rest of the group. And we remain with 23 cars in the lead lap.
They continue to pull away from second.
group of cars.
They're the leaders. And you look back at the interval to the rest of the field. Here in the Die Hard 500. CBS Sports coverage of the Die Hard 500 will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
I could have had my brakes done at the corner shop or a muffler place with some super-duper deal. But tonight, I felt awfully good about choosing Sears. Sears has technicians that are trained, experienced brake specialists. They finished the job when they promised. They road-tested my brake system and really gave me peace of mind, which is something I appreciate on nights like tonight.
Sears Tire and Auto Center. We're driven to satisfy.
I bought my car new in 1970. I drove a hockey team 190-mile round trip 3 times a week.
Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
I took good care of it. And when I reached 300,000, I thought, I've got to be a pretty good car.
No other leading motor oil offers more complete protection to help your car run better, last longer.
At 600,000, I thought, maybe it could be the Haviland.
Haviland Formula 3. Why add just any motor oil? Add more life to your car.
A senseless murder one man vowed to solve.
You still think I did it?
Yeah, I sure do. Robert Conrad, sworn to vengeance. Tuesday contains some violent scenes.
This is CBS.
Oh, isn't that cute?
How precious.
So tiny.
And such cute little bun.
What's its name?
It's our junior burger, lady.
For what you pay at some places for a junior burger, you get a full quarter-pound champ burger at Checkers. For the everyday price of just 99 cents, you get a quarter-pound burger that's made to order when you order. 99 cents and just the way you like it, big and delicious.
We have to go bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Checkers. One taste and you're ours.
Now, over time, cars that can benefit from higher octane can benefit from new Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium gasolines. 2 choices with an advanced system of engine cleaning that works over time for the highest performance, lower emissions, and improved mileage, changing what gasoline can do. New Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium from Texaco. Give us 60 days and watch what can happen.
This is a current view of Sky Tower radar. Watch for a complete forecast coming up on Eyewitness News at
7 miles, 108 laps have been completed. Let's take a look at the top competitors out here. Irvin, Elliott, Gordon, Schrader, Bodine. Top 5 a little further back. Rudd, Speed, Dallenbach, Martin, Bodine. But I think the big story at this point in the race is that when they started out, it looked like a squadron of fighter planes. But this twosome right here is trying to turn it into the yawn patrol. They've just drawn off by some 8 seconds. It's one of the biggest advantages we've seen anybody enjoy in this race in maybe a decade. And as Richard Petty was pointing out, the job is really being done by Bill Elliott hanging on here to car number 11. You won't see this very often. There's car number 3, Earnhardt's car, going home early.
Yeah, that's a rare occurrence. But, yeah, they've had a long green flag run, and they've made one pit stop during green flag, another one coming up before too long, and that tends to scatter them out, and you get a couple of cars hooked up that are working well together, like Elliott. He's running up close enough to Ernie Irvin to perhaps help them a little bit there now, and they just continue to pull away from the second group of cars.
You've got so many people in the second group, too, and all of them are running different speeds. They run good one lap, slow the next lap, and they're back and forth, so they're not near as steady as the front group.
Now, that's not the second group there. That's some cars that have just been left. Harry Gant is in there, and Bobby Hillen, and Rick Bass. But here comes the other group, being led by Sterling Marlin, who is one lap down.
So Jeff Gordon is third in that 24, followed by Jeff Bodine. Ken Schrader is there, Mark Martin, Lake Speed, Ricky Rudd, Wally Dallenbach in that group. Dick Berggren has a report.
Well, you see this deal with the 11 and 28 cars so well hooked up at the front, you might think that they'd had some conversation between each other so that they decided to do that and run off with the pack. Well, all afternoon we've been listening to conversations like that from other drivers, and deals have been struck, but not so between the front 2 cars. Mike Beam, crew chief for Bill Elliott, says, I'll have none of that. I have been burned too many times. It is up to the drivers. Let's see how he can do out there by himself.
Okay. You see the blue car up in front of them. That's Jeff Burton, who is currently running in the 23rd position out there sort of running by himself. So he's about to go a lap down.
Irvin has led now 44 laps. Earnhardt led 41 before he retired. 5 points go to that driver who lead the most points and on his way in that story. We've been talking about Joe Nemechek some. Let's get more of that story from the man himself. David Hobbs is with him.
I'm with Joe Nemechek in the garage. Just 12 points separated you from the lead of the rookie pack this year. What happened, Joe?
Well, tough break with Meineke Chevrolet today. Something happened to the ignition box, and I think it ended up burning a piston. When it went off, when the box blew up, it sounded like a bomb going off in the car, and then started smoking. Didn't want to hurt the motor anymore, and we had to, so we just parked it.
How was the car running on this big speedway?
We were running really good. We had to take a provisional to get in the race, but in the race we had moved up to like 12th or 13th position. We were really going good, and got hung out to dry. You know, that's some of those rookie mistakes I was making as far as drafting, but I'm learning more and more every day.
Well, disappointing David Nemechek, and of course it makes it just that much more difficult to get that rookie championship in 1994. Ken?
Great campaigner in the Grand National ranks of NASCAR, moving up to Winston Cup competition, and another name you're going to hear a lot of in time to come. The name you're hearing right now is Irvin. Car number 28, former winner here, trying to make it a two-time winning role in the Die-Hard 500. But with 113 laps complete, 188 the distance to be run here today, means they've still got some 75 laps. Get back in it, and get back in it is just what that second pack is doing. After those leaders were drawing away, they're beginning to whittle that lead down. Critical coming up that next fuel stop, particularly if it's under green. If they got lucky on a caution, that put them all back in the contest here. Here's Gordon in third. Remember that number 4, as I was telling you, is a lap car. Yellow number 4, Sterling Marlin, a lap down. We have 22 cars now in the lead lap, with Grissom, the tail ender, in car number 29.
And he is about a third of a lap behind or in front of the leaders right now, so he's in no danger of going a lap down real soon, but he's got to keep going, or another 20 laps or so he could go a lap down.
We'll take a commercial break right here. Back to some of that action along pit road shortly. Stay with us in the Die Hard 500 from Talladega.
Paul Azinger returns to defend his title at the PGA Championship.
There's no place on earth that I'd rather be out in the open where it's all plain to see. If it's gonna get done, it's up to you and to me, and there's no place that I'd rather be. Come on along and head for the mountains of Bushmere. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth, and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bushmere.
If you want to know why most NASCAR teams use a Sears Die-Hard battery, just ask a guy who didn't use a Die-Hard. Die-Hard, the official battery of NASCAR. For more power when you need it most.
What is it about Ford Taurus that makes it America's best-selling car? Is it Taurus SHO with its amazing handling and 24-valve, 220-horsepower performance, its driver-oriented interior, or the unique ways SHO finds to reward the driver like no other performance sedan? Ford Taurus SHO, another reason why Taurus is the best-selling car in America. Again.
Making it to the pros takes a certain level of excellence, the experience to get the job done right, and a reputation for quality. Like AC firing spark plugs from CarQuest. AC spark plugs heat fast and fire hot, improving your car's performance. AC gives you the spark you need all season long. So for the best possible performance, install what the pros install. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
We're back with you live at lap 118 when they come by. There's your leader, Ernie Irvin.
So where's Bill Elliott? There he is.
11 on pit road, making a stop. This at lap 118 for Bill Elliott. Right side rubber being strapped on.
Well,
Jack Mann brings that. They're going to go all the way around. Dick Berggren's there now.
Yeah, and Larry McReynolds was just down here, Ken Squire, trying to cut a deal as Elliott's engine died, trying to cut a deal with these guys to go further, but they're out of gas. Mike Joy.
Well, I'm down in the Robert Yates pit, and Robert Ernie's out here all alone now as he gets word with his driver. Does that car just love to lead, or does Ernie? You've led the most laps now in the last 4 restrictor plate races.
Well, it's, you know, certainly that's what all our guys work so they got hard for it. But right now, being this far out front, we're just going to have to, unless we find a car coming off pit road that'll help us, we're just going to be able to fall. Only thing we can do is fall back to them, but we'd like to go with 1 gas stop left and not have to stop again, 11 have to stop again. Hot and cold situation, you know. We're trying to give Ernie some time right now.
Robert Yates.
Robert Yates talking to Ernie Irvin. They have put number 11 a lap down. They had a moment here on pit road. Now, this was just moments ago while we were away.
Now, this is Mike Beam on the left. He's the crew chief for Bill Elliott. Larry McReynolds on the right. He's the crew chief for Ernie Irvin. And then just a lap or 2 later, we saw Elliott come into the pits. Mike Beam had come up there and said, let's pit together. But we heard Robert Yates say, hey, we're going to try to make it on 1 more fuel stop. Elliott had to come in. Apparently, he was running low on fuel.
So, the Summit meeting didn't work out, at least for Bill Elliott. Here's Dick Berggren.
Well, what was going on there was McReynolds was trying to persuade Elliott's guys to come in at the same time, but McReynolds' car can go substantially further. Ernie Irvin is getting much better gas mileage. McReynolds wanted to go quite a bit further, take 2 tires, and persuade Elliott to do the same thing. But Bill Elliott came in here out of fuel. Obviously, he didn't have a choice. I will say that Mike Beam didn't leave that judgment up to himself. He went to the boss. He went to Junior and said, are we going to pit together? And while that conversation was going on, the 11 car came down pit road. So no deal was struck. Mike Joy.
Hammond's crew chief for Jeff Gordon. And pit stop strategy here. You look like one of the couple of teams that could go the distance with 1 more stop. Is that true?
I hope we can. We're just going to try and watch what the 28 car does, but I believe we can do it.
I think also Darrell Waltrip and Morgan Shepherd could run this race with just 1 more fuel stop.
Well, here's the situation with 28 running by himself. He has no drafting partner, and he's getting caught up quickly. Remember, it was 8 seconds. Well, now it's been reduced to 5 6/10 of a second, and it continues to be whittled down as those other cars close in on the lonesome Ernie Irvin.
Now, Bill Elliott went a lap down. We'll see him come into the picture here before too long, that he lost a lap when he made that pit stop. He certainly hopes there will be no caution in the between now and when the others have to make their green flag pit stop. But those cars coming up behind Elliott, he's out there running by himself as well, but he's probably gaining on Ernie Irvin because he has new tires on the car.
The last thing he needs to do is get trapped here. He'd like to get back up there and run down Ernie Irvin. His tires have got to be a little raggedy at this point and see if he can get himself back in that lead lap. Caution out here would be disastrous for Bill Elliott at this point.
Right. Yeah, if he can hang in there where he's at, though, he's got 4 new tires and it's a good fast crowd coming up that he can help or they can help him. So he's not really completely out of it right now. Just according to how things flow, if they flow right, it's going to be right for him.
Bill Elliott's being shown in 20th position, a lap down, just behind Mike Wallace, who was 1 lap down in the Don Levy car, number 9.
And while we were talking about Bill Elliott a moment ago, just a lap or so after he came to this, Jim Spencer came in the other Junior Johnson car, so he has gone a lap down as well. He's being shown in the 24th position.
Here's Wally Dallenbeck. Has been running in 4th. Now in. He'll have to make 1 more stop, right, Richard?
Probably.
Yeah,
just enough for a little bit of fuel.
He's got 65 laps to go from here. I don't think he could go that far.
They run her just as far as they care to go.
Mike Joy is there.
Well, they're going to put right side tires on Wally Dollenbach's car, fill it with fuel. The right sides are done. They want to get all that gas in hopes of him making the distance. It's going to be close, but Dollenbach's away in the Pontiac and back out there.
How's your mileage on that car, Richie?
That must not be good enough.
Not as good as some of the others.
Somebody doing something, but it was pretty good. They get good gas mileage.
Lake Speed coming in, running in the 6th position. Here's Dick Birkin.
Well, Lake Speed is going to take right side tires. A lot of conversation this week about whether he is going to stay with that team. Team said yes, he will. They're working on final negotiations. He should stay there. Good run today for Lake Speed. Right side tires, and every drop of fuel that car would take went in.
And Dick, as we saw on the case of Wally Dollenbach, it takes more time to put the fuel in than it does to change just 2 tires. But if they went to the other side to change the other 2 tires, then that would add 3 or 4 seconds to their total pit stop, so they didn't want to give up that much time. Now, Bill Elliott and Wally Dollenbach Jr. are hooked up together after they've made their pit stops. They should be able to run Ernie Irvin down in just a couple of laps and maybe get back in the lead lap.
Here's Harry Gantz, number 33, coming in his final performance here. 27th position. Here's David Hobbs.
Gantz pulls into the pit stop here on the front straight at Talladega for what he hopes will be his last pit stop at Talladega. Certainly his last one in the Die-Hard 500, unless he needs to have a bit of a top-up later on. But with just the amount of laps left, he should be able to make it to the finish of this race. Hasn't had a great race. Was disappointed with his car this morning. Just feels that the restrictor plate racing does not suit him or his team. Pulls out for what he hopes will be the last time.
I understand we have a penalty on Lake Speed for speeding on pit road.
Oh boy, that's expensive, this racetrack. He has to come back in, make a stop and go. That is going to put him totally out of sequence with the others and away from that lead pack.
Showing 125 miles complete, 125 laps complete, 332.5 miles down. Taking a look at some telemetry here on Lake Speed.
You can see he's running 68, 69, 100 RPM. Well, it's down to 64, 65. And the speed ranging from 179 up to 185. Now he's slowing down, coming in for that pit stop. That's a penalty.
That's going to hurt.
Yep.
Take a look at Bill Elliott trying to get that lap back in car number 11.
Yep. Wally Dollenbach was right there with him, but Bill was able to get away from him just a little bit. Maybe Wally can get caught up to them and get back in the lead lap himself in case a caution comes out.
The 11 caught the draft of the 28 and just picked him right on up and just left Wally out there by himself right now.
Big story right now, however, is that the interval between Ernie Irvin and the rest of the field is now just about 3 1/10 of a second, 3.1.
But Bill Elliott will help Ernie Irvin to open that distance up a little bit again. Let's go back to the pits and Dick Birkin.
Well, you're absolutely right, Ned Jarrett. Lake Speed's penalty was for speeding on the pit road, and it was for Xing. Mike Joy?
You know, I believe, fellas, that was the strategy for Ernie Irvin. He may, in fact, have even waited just a little bit for Bill Elliott, trying to pick up a draft from Elliott now, who has unlapped himself. That will save them fuel. Robert Yates wants to be absolutely sure of having to make only one more pit stop. Now, cars that just stopped 3 and 4 laps ago, including Wally Dollenbach, have confirmed that they will have to stop again.
2 7/10 of a second. 2.7 the difference right now. We're at lap 128 of 188 to be run. It's strategy right now that's making the difference in this 26th running of the Die Hard 500.
You want to know the secret to choosing a motor oil? You wait till the sun goes down. You take a ride to your local garage and then get a real close look at what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, more top mechanics in America choose Valvoline over any other brand. Valvoline can help keep cars on the road for 100, 200, 300,000 miles and more. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. People who know use Valvoline.
When life in your car gets a little too bumpy, there's only one place to go: Sears. Sears technicians install more shocks on more kinds of cars than anyone else. That's because we have America's largest selection, installation, and lifetime warranties. We're open before work, late at night, Saturdays, even Sunday. For shocks, for struts, there's no reason to go anywhere but Sears Tire and Auto Center. We're driven to satisfy.
Is this your idea of excitement? Let me tell you about exciting, okay? Driving around a racetrack at over 200 miles an hour, that's exciting. These are just flakes.
Well, what do you think?
These are really good. They're crispy, too.
Really?
Yeah, they're mighty good even with nothing on them. What are they?
Hey, Charlie.
Yeah.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes?
How could I be so dumb?
You got 500 miles to think about it.
Kellogg's is proud to sponsor NASCAR champion Terry Labonte.
If you're a card shark, this would be the right game for you today. A lot of strategy being laid out here right now at lap 131. We just watched Ricky Rudd pitting. Came in 6th position. This will drop him back. We're actually showing 10 cars in the lead lap, but that'll be unsorted in a moment as the rest of the field pits. Urban stays first, Gordon second, Schrader third, Martin fourth, Jeff Bodine, Kenny Wallace up to 6th. He's had a good day. Now here's the 26 car. Running slow. Looks like there's a tire out of sync on that. Had one go down on the right front. Something's broken up.
Yeah, he just made a pit stop not long ago.
And we just received where they're going to penalize
Ricky Rudd.
Rudd for speeding.
Boy, I think he's coming back down pit road right now to take his penalty. Boy, this is going to cost him.
14th place car, and here's Rudd back in again. That's a hard fight on this racetrack for Ricky Rudd.
Yeah, even a 15-second pit penalty coming in is not as severe as a stop and go if you speed going out, because the slowdown period and getting back up to speed will cost you more than 15 seconds. And even though they don't hold you in the pits for just a second or so.
Well, the big deal is getting back up to speed.
Yeah.
This is why I don't think it's right to have a speed limit under the green flag. And okay, you've got another pit stop here, right?
The leader's coming in. Here's Ernie Irvin. Watch this Ford come in here and see what Robert Yates and company can do for Ernie Irvin as he tries to win his second 500. Mike Joy is standing by.
Well, they will try to get in and get out together. That's to the advantage of both these cars. Mark Martin is also in. The right sides are up on Irvin's car. Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon's crew, Barry Muse, gets the car up in the air as Mike Trowerth puts the right front on. It's right sides only. Right sides for Irvin. Here's Dick Bergeron.
Also took right sides to the number 25 car, Mike. This is exactly what they had planned. They wanted to come in on lap 132 and get fuel and 2 tires. They have done just exactly that. Jeff Bodine has also been in for what could well be his final stop.
13.7 was the time on Irvin, and 15 seconds flat was what was shown on Jeff Gordon out there.
And Ken Schrader made a pit stop at the same time. So did Mark Martin. Morgan Shepherd is coming in right now. So most of these cars are making what maybe will be their last pit stop.
Here's Morgan Shepherd. Wood Brothers, number 21. Back in at another time.
The one thing about it, he doesn't have to worry about breaking the speed limit going out, because he's in the last pits. He can just stand on it out of there. So once he leaves there, he knows that there will not be a penalty as far as speeding is concerned. If they didn't catch him coming in, well, then he's okay.
Fifth in Pocono last week with Shepherd, having a very good run in the point standings. Currently fifth in Winston Cup standings, that 21 car. So most of the leaders in, say all the leaders in that top lap have made a stop now. Do you see anything out here that has? I think we've got Irvin back in front, Gordon in second, that'll move Bodine. Jeff Bodine in third spot, and put Schrader fourth on the field.
He just had a change. He just passed him. Anyhow, that's how quick it happens here. Before you can get it out, 3 or 4's done past the 7 car.
Here's the running order after 133 laps have been completed. We're watching Urban out there putting a lap on Jeff Burton in the Stavola car. Stavola folks making a major move in that effort to help the flood victims over in the state of Georgia.
Yes, they have. They've got pickup points for non-perishable food items and other items for those. That's Charlotte Motor Speedway is one, Hickory Motor Speedway, and here at the Quintard Mall here in Anniston, Alabama, and other places that between now and next weekend. Jeff Bodine is off the pace, but between now and next weekend, they can take items to those for the flood victims in Georgia.
To those racetracks, or you can call Stavola Racing down there in Charlotte. See Dave Marcus is number 71, which we haven't given a call to this afternoon. Former winner here, now in 32nd position. Running slowly is Jeff Bodine. Something's amiss on the car that won last week at Pocono. That story in a moment.
Sorry, guys. Where do you find a pit crew this good? At a Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer. Quality care, where the quality continues.
It's the concert event of the year. Phil Collins in concert. Presented exclusively by Sears. Right now, all Phil Collins music is value priced at Sears Brand Central.
Splitfire earned a United States patent. Splitfire doesn't look like any other spark plug. And the patented Splitfire doesn't work like any other spark plug.
5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. Quicker in the quarter mile. A 4.8% gain in mileage.
There's nothing like a Splitfire. You'll get more power and more mileage, or your money back. Get the guaranteed Splitfire advantage at leading automotive stores from coast to coast.
This is a Goodyear AquaTread with a 60,000-mile warranty, and this is a bucket of water. At highway speeds, Goodyear AquaTread pumps away over a gallon of water every second, thanks to its deep groove aqua channel. Over a gallon a second, that's 396 gallons per mile. Think about it. The next time it's pouring buckets. The all-season AquaTread, only from Goodyear. We say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
This Die Hard 500 race summary is sponsored by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
So after 364 miles have been complete, 10 leaders, 19 lead changes. As things are shaping up now, the average speed at 173, still about 3 miles an hour under the record. 3 caution periods. We're on another caution right now as Bodine's car broke. Apparently it's not for the Bodine car, but they had debris on the back straightaway, we're told. Here are the cars that are out of the race. You can add to this list the Jeff Bodine number 7. Still some of the cars. Earnhardt's car as well is out of it. Nemechek, and now it appears that Jeff Bodine's number 7. And there's some of the debris out on the track. They're running over it right now. So they want to get some crews out there to get this cleaned up before we go any further. That's on the pit road, way on the pit road, yeah. Here's Bill Elliott in and out again. And see Ernie Irvin taking on fuel. Mike Joy.
Well, this caution's a big break for Sterling Marlin. Remember, he had a flat tire earlier and was out of the pit stop sequence. Tony Glover was lobbying hard for the caution for debris. It did come out, and Marlin will be right back up with the leaders on the restart. Dick?
Well, 2 weeks ago, Jeff Bodine lost a rocker arm at the New Hampshire Speedway. He had been leading at the time. It cost him the race. Today, he was running toward the front. A piston apparently has burned the engine, has cooked. It is the 4th engine loss of the year. He has headed to the garage.
Now, the other car that has made up a lap is Brett Bodine. He raced it back to the line, got himself back into this thing for Kenny Bernstein. So
well, actually, he was 2 laps down.
He makes up 1. 26 got back 1 of 2. Let's see if we can get a word with Ricky Rudd out here. In car number 10, Ricky, can you hear CBS? Ken Squire with you.
Yeah, Ken, we got you. Hello.
I think Ricky's hearing us. We aren't hearing him.
Well, we're not hearing him.
Well, Ricky, you're doing good out there today. I'm sure you probably wanted to see this caution. Did it help you?
Well, it really did. What happened is we got caught for speeding on pit road, which I questioned that. We didn't speed, but anyway, it was going to put us way behind. The caution came out. Now we got a chance to regroup. We're back in the lead lap. I think we got something for him if we can get some track position.
Can you catch that 28 car?
Well, him and the 11 hooked up a while ago, and everybody else was kind of tripping all over themselves, racing each other, and they were able to get away. I think if you catch them, maybe 3 cars, 4 cars can race them. I don't think a whole pack can race them.
How hot is it in there, Ricky?
Well, I sure wish I was at home sitting by the lake right now, but I've got something to look forward to when it's over. I'd say it's probably 130 degrees in here.
All right, good luck.
Thank you, sir.
So, Ricky Rudd, for having been penalized, look up from under there, still very optimistic about this race.
Yeah, that's
the right attitude
for him. That's a good break. That's where it will come into circumstances. No matter what goes on, you know, you're looking at things and you say, man, that's a bad break, and then you get another break that brings you back, and sometimes it brings you back far enough, sometimes it doesn't. But everything sort of equalizes itself out, and that was the equalizer for him.
Ken Schrader with an opportunity to lead. Did not pit among those early folks in here. You see Hunt Strickland on pit road in the Travis Carter car. They're being shown 31st. Here's Bobby Hamilton's car that came out of that last row this afternoon. Hamilton running 25th on the afternoon. Mike Joy.
Interesting stop for Bobby Hamilton. They put left sides on it, Ken, and they weren't going to fuel it. Then they did. The man with the helmet, gas man Richard Bostic. His mom's in the hospital in intensive care. If he could get that helmet off, he'd say hi to her.
Great job by all these guys along pit road. Here's the 8. And that's the Modestus car that is entered by the Stavola folks. We're going to get back for the start here in just a moment. That'll be about lap 140 when they turn them loose. CBS Sports coverage of the Die Hard 500 continues after this message and a word from your local station.
The only place you'll want to buy tires this weekend is America's #1 tire store, Sears. Because America's #1 tires, Goodyear, are all on sale. Huge savings on all Wranglers, all Eagles, all Aquatreads, all Goodyear weather handlers, a Sears exclusive. Through Saturday, all Goodyears are on sale at Sears Tire and Auto Center. For tires, batteries, brakes, and shocks, we're driven to satisfy.
Wednesday, Florida's Republican candidates for governor answer questions from an audience of your neighbors. Eyewitness News anchor John Wilson hosts an Our Times town meeting, Wednesday at 8.
Buy a burger at some places, and who knows, it may have been reheated in a microwave or spent time drying out under a heat lamp, which makes it terrific.
For shuffleboard, why not get a great-tasting 99-cent quarter-pound champ burger from Checkers? It's made to order when you order. Special orders don't slow up the system because special orders are the system. The Champ Burger, 99 cents every day, always delicious, never microwaved. Checkers, one taste and you're ours.
Where the top crew, like Sam Johnson and his kids, get what it takes to put a little color back in the old homestead, let's go back to square one. Builder Square has more interior and exterior paint values than you can shake a stir stick at. Choose from Glidden or Dutch Boy with free computer matching of any color. Whatever you need to cover, they've got you covered at great square deal prices.
A better brush will eliminate streaks.
Builder Square.
They'll get you squared away.
This is a current view of Sky Tower radar. Watch for a complete forecast coming up on Eyewitness News at 6.
The Die Hard 500 is sponsored by Sears Die Hard, the official battery of NASCAR. Pringles, so fresh, once you pop, you can't stop. And by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
135.
141 laps complete, 375 miles by. And here's a report from Dick Berg.
Well, Ken, I think Kenny Schrader is probably the busiest race car driver in the whole world. He was here yesterday and won a Grand National race course. Right now, he's in front. But wait till you hear his schedule for next week. On Monday, he'll be in Highland, Illinois to run a dirt late model race. Tuesday, Rice Lake, Illinois, where he'll run an IMCA dirt car race. Wednesday's a rain date. Thursday, Columbus, Nebraska for another dirt car race. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, he's going to run a road course in Topeka, Kansas. That's only during the day, though. In the evening, Friday night, he's in Crescent, Iowa for a late model race. Saturday night, Denver, Colorado. Sunday night, Canton, Illinois. He says, by the way, he's not going to run schedules like this on Winston Cup weekends. How come? He says, I need my sleep.
There's a guy that likes his racing. Schrader, currently leading. We're under caution. Average speed for the race, 170 miles an hour. There's the top 10 after 139 of 188 have been completed. Schrader now up in front. Won here yesterday. Great race. If you look through the standings, averaged 167 miles an hour yesterday and nipped Terry Labonte by just about a headlight here at the finish line. 30 lead changes among 14 drivers in that Busch Grand National race yesterday. 8 different drivers led in the first 12 laps. It was something to behold. What a great way to start this die-hard weekend at Talladega now.
Ken Schrader has had a very good year. In fact, he's having one of his best years in his Winston Cup career, Ken. Last week was the first time that he had fallen out of a race this year. He was 5th in the point standings, dropped to 6th as a result of having an engine problem last week at Pocono, Pennsylvania. But he chose to stay out there, not make a pit stop. He's comfortable that the car will go the rest of the way as far as the fuel is concerned. Everyone else has made pit stops. They, too, should be comfortable. They should not need another stop as far as fuel is concerned.
Beautiful crowd out today. They say it is a record for the Die Hard 500. As Schrader, who defeated Jeff Bodine and Earnhardt back in 1988, will set sail from up front. It'll be lap 143. They'll be working 143, 142 complete when they'll take green out here.
There are 18 cars in the lead lap now.
And that includes, as they come down the line, Schrader first, Irvin second, Elliott's third, Jeff Gordon fourth, Mark Martin fifth, Dallenbach, Terry Labonte, Ricky Rudd eighth, Kenny Wallace ninth, Greg Sachs, then Mike Wallace is 11th, Bobby Labonte 12th, Sterling Marlin 13th, 14th out there is Todd Bodine, Jimmy Spencer, Mike Waltrip is 16th, Morgan Shepherd in 17th, and then Lake Speed in 18th. The lap down, Steve Grissom 19th on the field, and Kyle Petty 20th.
Kenny Wallace has done a great job, currently being shown in the 9th position in the Hardy Boys car out of Dawsonville, Georgia. And Kenny, of course, a regular on the Busch Grand National circuit this year, but having an opportunity in this car. Bobby Hillin will drive this car in Indianapolis, plus about 6 other races for the balance of the year. We're ready to go green flag racing as you see the green flag wave.
And they can make it home from here. Schrader jumps out in front. For some reason, Jimmy Spencer jumped into the pits on that start and came down pit road. I need a pit report as to what the circumstances were on Jimmy Spencer. Here we are coming up to speed.
Yeah, he was one of those cars in the lead lap. He'll stay in the lead lap, but he's going to be out there running by himself. Nobody to draft.
Mike Joy has the story.
So they had to make a stop. This flash was the only way they'd be able to stay in the lead lap in this race. It's a very surprising strategy here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, up in front, got a swap around.
And the caution is coming back out.
Yellow is coming back on. Yellow is back out, racing the line. It's Ernie Irvin first, Bill Elliott second, Schrader third, Jeff Gordon in fourth. Got caution out, and they're indicating turn 2.
There's some debris over there, so that didn't hurt Jimmy Spencer then. By making that pit stop, he'll get to catch right back up.
It looked like those front 3 were trying to do a breakaway. It's something planned out there. all for naught. Let's take a look at what the story was here on this restart. Up smoker down to the inside. It looks like Jeremy Mayfield's car, the Cale Yarborough car, finding its own route out there. Get out of this place.
Yep, so that's the reason for the caution. Wonder if it's another one of those cases. It looked like he was having smoke, maybe an engine problem. And just like we've seen several times here before, where the on restarts, they burn those pistons.
Let's close out the Jeff Bodine story right now. David?
Well, we're down here with Jeff Bodine, dressed and looking cool and collected now. What happened?
She blowed up. Blowed the motor. I don't know. Burn a piston like maybe the rest of these guys have been doing today. I don't know what it is. The weather changed or what. We thought we were plenty safe. Need to say hi to Kathy. She's out here, out somewhere. I don't know where she's at. She's out riding around her little red new car, but I love you. I'll be home tonight. Great run. The car was running great, handling good. Again, Hoosier tires were really good in the long run. I was just sitting there riding in that draft, waiting for the end of the race, but the end came a little too soon for us.
We've had a lot of blown pistons this afternoon, yet the weather's so much better than, say, last year. What do you think's causing it?
I really don't know. We richened the carburetor up. Danny did this morning just to be a little safe, and maybe we didn't burn a piston. You know, you don't know until you take them apart. Maybe a part broke, but something happened. We're here instead out there.
Yeah, thanks very much, Jeff. And down out to Mike Joy.
Well, that caution flag was a great break for Jimmy Spencer. He caught up to the lead pack with only 18 cars in the lead lap. It was a good gamble by Mike Hill. This is a pyrometer, a probe that they use to measure the temperature across the tread of each tire. This, of course, is the asphalt on pit road, and you can read the rest.
Getting a hot foot out there, huh, Michael?
Uh-huh.
Well, Thursday, here at the track, they dedicated the Walk of Fame at the Talladega Speedway, unveiling the Davey Allison Memorial. Bobby and Judy Allison were in attendance as the Alabama gang. We're honored. There you see Judy and Bobby and that whole Alabama gang, Red Farmer, Bobby, Davey, Donnie, and the late Neil Bonnet being honored here. Then on Friday, they had a little taste of the South here. Down-home barbecue plus some entertainment where drivers past and present traded stories about the one they won or the one they almost won. So, number of cautions right now, we're at 4. The last 2 for debris. This in the second turn. And it's bringing the average of the race down into the 165-mile-an-hour bracket.
It doesn't take long for the average to go down once they start running under these caution periods. Jeremy Mayfield had a problem coming off turn 2 over there. Reason for his caution.
Excuse me. Richard, do you feel the heat out there when you get in these caution periods late in the day?
Well, it's according to where you run it and how you run it and stuff. Yeah, you're already exhausted, and then when they run around slow, you just know it's going to be out there that much longer. So really what most of these boys are looking for, let's go ahead and run this thing and race it down to the end and see who wins from there, and that's what they're looking for right now.
Jimmy Spencer's been on pit road another time and come back using that same old strategy.
Yeah, had nothing to lose. Come in, top that thing off, be sure that he gets enough fuel. Was that the case, Mike?
Well, I'm a little surprised maybe they didn't put tires on it because they have about 2.5 minutes to get their service done here during a caution lap. Spencer came in. They said they could go just 47 laps on 1 tank of fuel, and when they made that stop as the green came out, there was exactly 47 to go, so little insurance here. Dick Berggren?
Mike Joy, Jeff Bodine was wondering if the weather perhaps had changed today. Indeed it has. The humidity here is just awful. Look at this, 90% humidity. Now this morning when they were setting the cars up, it was only about 77% humidity. The other thing that's happened is the barometer is dropping. The air is getting a bit thinner over the course of the day. Maybe that has something to do with these engines, but the engine builders say it's detonation. They're just pushing the engines right to the absolute limit to get as much horsepower out of them as possible.
Now, Richard, you stayed in this sport long enough as a driver to be able to take advantage of some of that technology. When I raced against you back in the early 60s, a barometer, we had no idea what that would have been or how to use it.
I still don't think I know. But anyhow, what they're doing, like he said, these engines are restricted with very little air. They're not developing 430 horsepower or 440 or something. And what they do to really get them to run, they pump that compression up there way on up, 15-1, 16-1. And, man, just any detonate just blows the thing apart. So it's very easy for the heat, when the heat runs up on the engine, like running slow like this, sometimes the air doesn't circulate good enough, and the engine will run maybe 5 degrees hotter than what it did before. And when it does, hey, that detonation sets in and the party's over.
And the party's over for several of the leaders today, including Dale Earnhardt out. If you're just joining us, one lap. They're going to turn him loose another time. Petersburg, Virginia's Jeremy Mayfield. We saw him coming in on the hook in car number 98 in his second performance for Yarborough. He started last week replacing Derek Cope up at Pocono and had a 21st place there. And so for Cale, who won this race in 85, it's another long day. Here's Irvin in front, Elliott in second as we get set to get into the final moments of this event. You see Jimmy Hensley down on the inside in the 55 car.
He is one lap down, being shown in 19th position. And for the fans who might be seeing NASCAR Winston Cup racing for the first time, they might wonder, well, why are these cars lining up two abreast on the restarts? NASCAR, after cars have been lapped on the track, allows the lap cars to come up on the inside, and the cars that are in the lead lap restart on the outside. Now, once they get down to the last 10 laps, they don't allow them to do that, but they are allowed to pull up there, and they should be able to get out in front of the leader and get another caution where they can make up a lap.
And there are 18 cars in that lead lap, showing, 146 complete now of the 188 to be run. Urban first, Elliott second, Schrader third, Gordon, Martin, Dallenbach sixth, Terry Labonte, Ricky Rudd, Kenny Wallace ninth, Greg Sachs 10th, Michael Wallace 11th, Bobby Labonte in 12th, Martin next, Michael Waltrip is 14th, 15th is Morgan Shepherd, 16th Speed, followed by Spencer and Todd Bodine. The Butch Mark car is back in 18th position. Lap down, as Ed was saying, it's Hensley, followed by Brett Bodine, Kyle Petty, and Grissom back to 22nd. 23rd is Max. Okay, we're ready to go racing once again. They'll come around to complete 147 as they come to the line. 188 will bring out the checkers. Ernie Irvin has his partner back, Bill Elliott, on this restart right there in second spot.
They would like to hook up and pull away like they did once before and settle it between themselves, but Ken Schrader and Jeff Gordon might have something to say about that.
And Mark Martin, fourth in points. This is about the time of the year where he lights up based on last year's performance. About this time that he started winning races. Tell you who else is doing well? It's Greg Sachs. He's up to 10th in all of this. Sachs having a good run today. Number 6 in Daytona 500 this year. He came home with a 6 here in May.
He loves these super speedways and high-speed races. His only victory came at Daytona in the summer race there.
Richard, which did you like best, these big super speedways or those short tracks?
Well, really, probably the shorter tracks are probably, I like them a little bit more because the bigger the racetrack is, the more important the car becomes. The smaller the racetrack, the driver can make up a little bit. But I like them all. Any place you can win, you like, that's for sure.
Boy, we came close to having a wreck right there.
Bobby Labonte.
Greg Sachs and Bobby Labonte went very, very high.
3 wide, Kyle down to the bottom. Jimmy Spencer trying to sprint up the middle. Greg Sachs trying to close back in here. On board with Lake Speed in car number 15. Back in that 16th spot.
24, something happened 24.
Gordon in trouble. Jeff Gordon drops off.
Another one of those burned pistons, I'll bet, right after a restart.
Yep.
We've seen it happen a number of times today.
Running in fourth. When it ends for Jeff Gordon, he won't score his second Winston Cup victory here at Talladega. Won the first one in Charlotte, North Carolina, back on Memorial Day in the 600. Jeff Gordon out of this one. Back to the leaders. It's still Ernie Irvin seeking that second Die-Hard 500 victory, and right with him comes Bill Elliott. Ford's first and second, Ken Schrader's Chevrolet. maintained third over Mark Martin's Ford in fourth, followed by Wally Dallenbach's Pontiac in fifth. On board with Wally Dallenbach here into turn one.
Ernie Irvin just ran a lap about a quarter of a second faster than Dale Earnhardt qualified for the pole, almost 194 miles an hour.
Mike Joy has more on the Jeff Gordon story.
Ray Evernham, what happened to Jeff?
Evidently had something fail in the engine. He just went by and said it blew up. You know, they've given us awful good motors this year, and we're sure not going to worry about that one. We hate it. You know, we had a good top 5 car, and we hate it for DuPont and Rick and everybody. And it's just one of those days we're going to have to come back and try to have a good run in Indianapolis.
Is there anything they can do about getting these things back up to speed on restarts without burning a piston?
Don't really know, Mike. They're really investigating hard. A lot of it is part throttle response. You know, we run them so close. You're so borderline on where you've got the thing jetted for power. So it's really hard to say. You know, Randy Dorton and all the guys at the engine shop are doing a great job, and they're working hard at it. And it just wasn't our day.
Tough break for Ray Evernham and company. They'll be back at Indianapolis in a couple of weeks in that first appearance of the Winston Cup cars at the Brickyard.
The car number 28 and number 11 had pulled away a little bit, Ken, but now Ken Schrader is beginning to close that gap.
Here he comes right back in there. Had dropped down to 12 car lengths. He cuts it down to about 7 here.
Mark Martin coming right with him, Wally Dallenbach. Pontiac's having a good day here today. One of the best runs we've seen them have on a super speedway in quite a while. So maybe, Richard, the engineering is beginning to work out the extra lift that NASCAR gave them a couple of months ago.
Well, I hope some of it's coming together anyway. You know what I mean? We're not running that good right now, but we're running right up there. So I think it's going to be a situation here where they're going to start breaking away and breaking up in packs, because everybody's doing everything they can. This is it. Basically, most of the time, you're not going to have another caution. You're going to run for every foot of the racetrack that you can get, and that's what these boys are doing right now.
Got to let it all hang out, no question about it. Try to keep that track position.
And Schrader is doing just that as he closes in. Back in ninth is Bobby Labonte in car number 22. Look at him closing right back in another time. Moving in on Kenny Wallace in the 44. Bobby Labonte up to ninth. Remember, he started in the last row in this race a year ago, and he came up to second place and ran out of fuel, and final lap wound up out of the top 10. Well, he's back here today and doing a whale of a job. Here he is with Kenny Wallace. You see the 44. Didn't see much of him today, but he's been very much in this thing. He's in 8th with Robbie Gordon.
Of course, that car number 44 is an engine built by Ernie Elliott, brother to Bill, and those cars built down in Dawsonville, Georgia. And we want to say hello to Casey Elliott, Ernie's son, who unfortunately has cancer and is being treated for that now. We certainly want to wish him well.
Absolutely. Hope he's enjoying this race today. It's getting better by the moment. Schrader's closing in. Let's go to David Hawes.
Along with Jeff Gordon, you're the 5th engine to blow this race after the caution. What happened this time, do you think?
You know, I don't know. We were trying to be real careful about not part throttling the motor. We've had problems with that, you know, keeping it at constant RPM. With these restrictor plate motors, you never can tell. You don't really like to see caution, especially, you know, we had a pretty good run going there before that caution come out, and you know, that's kind of how we wanted to go, just keep on going green. We had a definite top 5 finish.
Very disappointing run for Jeff Gordon.
Yep. And it'll be Indianapolis for him next. He may give that one a show. A couple of weeks. Already sold out. Sell out here today for Ernie Irvin and Bill Elliott. They're all on their feet cheering. We'll see more of it in a moment.
Shoes, groovy shoes, worldwide renowned.
Now we want to be world champions.
We're not giving up. That's why Dream Team 2's together. That's why we're on the cup.
Score one at McDonald's.
When you supersize. Just 39 cents more for more drink and more fries.
Supersize any extra value meal and collect the Dream Team 2 today.
Then look out, world. We're hungry to play.
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
The only place you'll want to buy tires this weekend is Sears. All Goodyear tires are on sale. All Wranglers, all Eagles, all Aqua-Treads, and all weather handlers are Sears exclusive. All Goodyear's on sale at Sears.
Road and Track says the latest and best Mustang hits the ground running. Auto Week says the all-new interior is nothing short of a design triumph. Motor Trend says its first-class styling, dynamics, and performance make it the most significant new American car this year. The all-new Ford Mustang. It is what it was, and more.
I said to my sister, if Tylenol's so great for backaches and fever and stuff, why do you buy Excedrin for headaches? And she said, Excedrin relieves headaches better. She's always so logical, my sister.
Excedrin, the headache medicine.
When you absolutely positively need a great golf package, the PGA Tour's best deliver at the FedEx St. Jude Classic next weekend on CBS.
31 laps to go here on the 2.6-mile high banks of Talladega, where Ernie Irvan is in command. Holding second is Bill Elliott. Today's overhead coverage, courtesy of the Goodyear blimp, Stars and Stripes. That old 192-foot blimp based on Pompano Beach, Florida. It's like a big day for Goodyear here today. The way things are right now with Ernie Irvan, Elliott and Schrader, 1, 2, 3. Leaders pace at 193.8 mile an hour in that last lap. At the Pocono last week, guys from Hoosier Tires, they had their bow and arrow out, and they scored a 1, 2, 3. Today, it's going to be the other way around for Goodyear. Here's Irvan first. Elliott second. Taking a look further back, Bobby Labonte slipping a little bit here. He's back one spot. Kenny Wallace in that ninth, we're saying. And up in front, Irvan, Elliott, Schrader, Martin hanging.
And Jimmy Spencer's beginning to head on up through there, too. Richard, he stopped for fuel there at the end, but now he's all the way up to 5th place. He won at Daytona on the last lap.
Right now, he's running so much faster than them other cars. You know what I mean? Look at him. And they're up there running just as hard as they go. He just pulls out and leaves right by him.
Yeah.
Right by Mark. Huh. What's all that about?
Well, I'd say that he's running a little quicker than what everybody is right now. And what they done on that last pit stop kind of shows it. Because he's not running like that all day long, even from the word go. Except for qualifying.
He hasn't led a lap since 2.
Well, he's getting ready to lead somebody.
Here he comes. Looking for Schrader. Now, Mike Joy maybe can give us a little more about what's going on with Jimmy Spencer from the pit perspective.
Well, the NASCAR officials were all over here to talk to Mike Hill a second ago. I'm guessing Pete Babb was congratulating him on his run today and not questioning it. But, Mike, it looks like that last stop was a beautiful move. I mean, he is flying up through there. Restarted 16th, and now he's up to, what, 6th?
Yeah, we should be 3rd when we get back, Mike. That was something we learned at Daytona. We're just bringing it back to Talladega, you know, and it's working again. We just needed to get the car tightened up so he could run it wide open. A lot of these guys are not doing that, but we do. And Spencer will hold it wide open.
Yes, he will do that. He said Junior Johnson found something in the cylinder heads between their Daytona win and here at Talladega. Jimmy really thought he had a strong chance for the pole and ended up second to Earnhardt. There's not going to be much stopping him from getting toward the front the way that car is running right now.
Lies there in 3rd. Ford's got him covered in the front 4 right now. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Irvan, Elliott, Spencer, and Martin.
Fords haven't won here at Talladega in quite a while. What, Chevrolet's won the last 4 races, I believe?
Last win for a Ford was with Davey back in '92. They've got it covered for the moment. Let's see what Spencer has here. He's being a little more patient than we've seen in the past.
Well, once he got up to the leaders, he decided to follow them for a little bit and see where he needed to make his pass. Now he's going to help his teammate, maybe Bill Elliott. Oh, they run up on some traffic. Got to fall back in line. Thought Bill was going to try to make a move on Ernie Irvan, and Spencer would go with him. Ooh, trouble here.
That's Greg Sachs all the way around, and Lake Speed sliding into the grass. Caution out. Yellow on the racetrack. Back straightaway. 77 car. Greg Sachs.
That's up here on the front straightaway.
Turn 4.
Yeah.
Speed back underway. Elliott took the lead coming to the line. Looks like Greg Sachs took some heavy contact up there.
He had a great run going today.
That was coming off the banking. Turn 4. That straightaway coming down to the tri-oval area. Greg Sachs' car, fused in the nose. Let's take a look.
Okay, it looks like that Lake might have bumped the 90 car a little bit of Mike Wallace, and then Morgan Shepherd, when he slowed down, Morgan tapped Lake just a little bit and spun him. They were all running bumper to bumper around there, and of course Greg Sachs gets caught up in it, the car number 77.
Sachs apparently attacked the outside wall. You saw him coming back across the track from Lake Speed's roof camera. Watch this.
Okay, there he is following the 90 car of Mike Wallace, the green car right in front of him. He runs up pretty close to that car. He didn't hit him. He gets hit from behind. I thought at first that maybe he had hit the Mike Wallace car, but he didn't. I think he might have got tapped just a little bit from behind. Morgan Shepherd was running right on his back bumper.
You see Greg Sachs heading in the dust just in front of him. He's gone across the track, collected the outside wall, and come down across the land back and in, and then came back up again.
I think Todd Bodine got involved in a little bit. He got into the wall and scraped the right side of his car. So there were a number of cars that were running in the lead lap.
14th, 15th, and 16th place cars in that lead lap involved in this incident, which takes place at lap 163. More in a moment.
People are selling tools today on the market that I don't even think they know where they're made, and they're not a quality tool. One thing about the Craftsman tool, it's made here, and you know the quality's good.
1,600 Craftsman hand tools, made in America, guaranteed forever.
If something happens to it, you can take it back, and you know where to take it back because you know where it come from.
Only at Sears.
What do you get when you cross a high-quality conventional motor oil with an advanced formula synthetic, a revolutionary new oil that protects better than regular oils, yet costs 40% less than full synthetics? DuraBlend from Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline.
This is a bucket of water, and this is the new Goodyear Eagle AquaTread for performance cars. A wide performance tire with twin aqua channels to sweep water away for outstanding wet traction. New Eagle AquaTread, only from Goodyear.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Great ball of fire! You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, what a thrill. Isn't it to raise a great ball of fire?
You could win a trip to the Fast Track Driving School with Bosch Platinum Plugs.
The credit line has nothing to do with your value as a person, okay? Sure, Gold MasterCard has a credit line of at least $5,000, but that doesn't make you a better person. Well, I don't know. Maybe it does. I mean, if knowing that no Gold card is more accepted on the planet lets you relax and just have fun, then yeah, I suppose it could have some effect. And you can use your Gold MasterCard at cash machines all over the world, so you can get money in drachmas or lire or seashells, so you can tip generously. Which any waiter will tell you is the true measure of how good a person you are. Gold MasterCard. It's more than a gold card. It's smart money.
It's a festive Sunday afternoon in upstate New York, and part of the celebration involved the 31st birthday of Julie Crone, one of the top jockeys in the country. Racing is underway at Saratoga later today. The Go for Juan Stakes featuring Sky Beauty will also have a 12-round junior welterweight WBO championship fight. All of that after the Die Hard 500.
And thank you, Vern. Back here at Talladega, Alabama, you see Greg Sachs' car being worked on, and we can get an update from David Hahn.
You talking to me?
David?
Well, as you can see, they're working on Greg Sachs' car. It's looking pretty sorry state at the moment. He's obviously run into something pretty heavily at the front end. The hood very, very badly bent. They changed all four tires. He's cleaned him once. I'm sure he's going to go out and do one more slow lap, then come in for more effect on this. Dick Bergstrom, what have you got to tell us?
Well, I want to tell you about how hot it is out here, David. You probably know because it's just as hot in the garage area. Track temperature right now is about 130 degrees. That's about the same temperature it is inside the cars. In order to prepare for that kind of stuff, believe it or not, many of these drivers run around the South with their windows rolled up, trying to get used to it with no air conditioning. Richard Petty sometimes used to throw ice packs down his fire suit. Some of the other drivers do that too. And most of them have helmets that circulate air. The air goes through an ice chest, cools it off a little bit. But I'm going to tell you what, it's hot in those cars. And right now is where the heat starts to sap the driver's energy.
Didn't that ever scare you, putting that ice right in there? That, huh? You seize right up.
You just go. Felt good though, didn't it?
Huh?
Felt good. There's Brett Bodine. He had some problems. He got into that thing a little bit. We saw the damage on his car, and here's Rick Mastin doing some work along with Bobby Hamilton in car number 40. That's Rick Mastin, car number 1. And Jimmy Hensley was also involved in that. We didn't name all the drivers that were involved in the incident that we have this car.
A bunch of them were slipping and sliding back there, so I don't know whether they're locking their brakes down, and then they come in and change tires.
16 cars stay in the lead lap, and they're going to get green this time by. They'll come around to complete 166. 22 laps remain to decide the Die Hard 500, the 26 running here in Alabama, celebrating the anniversary of 25 great races, and this looks to be another one, with Elliott now deployed first, Irvin second, Spencer third, Mark Martin fourth, Schrader in fifth, Wally Dallenbach sixth, Ricky Rudd, Kenny Wallace in eighth, Sterling Marlin ninth, Terry Labonte 10th, Michael Waltrip 11th. It's Bobby Labonte in 12th, Mike Wallace in 13th, Morgan Shepherd 14th, Blake Speed 15th, and it's Todd Bodine rounding out that lead lap.
And I don't think Todd Bodine or Lake Speed are going to be able to run up to full speed, but they should be able to continue out there and maybe stay in the same lap, right?
So pace car is again ready to come off and get us back to racing. Elliott leading, looking for a second win in the Die Hard, as is Ernie Irvin in second. Jimmy Spencer looking for his second career Winston Cup victory after that success down there at Daytona on that incredible last lap. The battle with Ernie Irvin right to the wire. Will we get a repeat today? We're going to know very shortly. The green is on, and we're racing at Talladega, Alabama.
Dave Marcus moves down to the inside, makes it 4 or 5 wide. Going into that turn, Marcus had his left wheels down on the flat. Ooh, he comes awfully close to Bobby Labonte there. Squeeze on Bobby. There's Brett Bodine trying to move around with Dave Marcus. That could have been a serious situation there. But they all got through it. We're not at full speed there when they got into that turn.
Coming to full speed at turn 3, and Irvin ducks to the inside and takes the lead. Spencer coming with it. A repeat at Daytona, maybe.
Well, it was these two cars, Ernie Irvin and Jimmy Spencer, who battled it out at Daytona, with Spencer getting the win on the very last lap. Bill Elliott was not in that battle, but he is in this one today. He might have something to say about it.
And let's not forget Mark Martin right behind them with Schrader. They're 4th and 5th. Dallenbach right there in 6th. He's been a factor all day as well. Front 3 trying to break away.
I understand the correct sack is getting the black flag and losing his car. Maybe a violation.
Bring in the 77 consultation flag out on Greg Sachs in another time. Here's David Hobbs.
Well, the crew chief seemed to think it was cosmetic damage. I think you'll agree, gentlemen, that it's slightly severe cosmetic damage, and obviously NASCAR officials agreed. They pushed the hood down, but I have a horrible feeling it's going to pop up again soon, and they put a tire wrap over the top to try and hold the thing down for just the remaining few laps of this race.
Those front 3 tend to their knitting and try to sew up a chance to decide this race just among themselves, working very hard to draw away from the field. And just as intent on collecting them back is that second group, Martin, Schrader, Dallenbach, Rudd, Wallace, running a very tight, straight line, trying to overwhelm those 3 leaders.
I think they're going to catch them.
Yeah, they are. They're moving in on them right there. You can see them tear them down a couple of car lengths. Coming by, they'll have completed 169 of 188 this time.
Yeah, they're there now. Mark Martin, Ken Schrader doing a good job on about 4 car lengths. 49.09 in seconds. Dale Earnhardt won the pole with a 49.49, so they ran 0.4 of a second faster. What is that, about 196 miles an hour? 195.07.
Spencer for the lead. Jimmy Spencer down to the inside. Ernie Irvin by himself alone, and Elliott goes with Spencer into second place.
So the two Junior Johnson cars running first and second. It's been a while since we've seen that.
Dick Berggren standing by with Junior Johnson.
What I'm wondering, Junior, is you got cars in first and second. What are you telling these guys to make sure that they finish first and second and not wreck each other?
Well, you can't tell them not to try to win the race. And if they try to, if both of them's trying to win the race, it's possible one of them will wreck because they run so hard and so close together, and the competition right now is so tight. One little, move and somebody's in trouble. So I just hope they both finish wherever they finish.
So you're going to let the driver settle it?
Yes, sir.
Settle it they will.
Yeah, the owner and the pit crew, they've done all they can do now. It's up to those drivers out there.
So here comes Elliott, looks on the inside, and stays right there. Wait this one out a moment or two before they make any more moves.
There are 9 cars in this lead draft. They have broken away from the 10th place car of Terry Labonte, who leads Michael Waltrip and Bobby Labonte. Here is that second group. Bobby Labonte went down on the inside. I thought he and Michael Waltrip were going to get together going into that turn.
So Michael Waltrip.
Yeah, he had to back off a little bit. That cost
Michael's breath anyway, didn't he?
Sure did, and mine along with him.
Michael Waltrip back there in 11th spot. Bobby Labonte making that move to get around him. Back with the leaders. Spencer first. Been a while for Bill Elliott. This could be his day. So smooth, so easy on these big super speedways. We'll take a commercial break and then stay with you right to the finish unless there's caution. 171 complete here at Talladega, Alabama, in the Die Hard 500.
What is it about Ford Taurus that makes it America's best-selling car? Is it the number of ways it finds to protect you and your passengers? Its confident feel on the road? Or the fact that we improved it over 50 ways to make it the best Taurus ever? Whatever the reasons, you've made Ford Taurus the best-selling car in America. Again.
Before the engines roar, before the concrete wall streams by, comes the moment of truth. It's called the starting line. The #1 battery at the starting line at Indy is Die Hard. Exactly the same battery you can buy at Sears.
Debbie, these shots are fabulous. Beautiful, Debbie.
Better than the last time, Tony?
Absolutely. It's my job to make sure people look good. A few weeks ago while doing test shots with Debbie, I noticed something. Dandruff. So I told her about Head & Shoulders. You see, regular shampoos merely rinse flakes away, so they could come back. But look, Head & Shoulders helps stop flakes from even forming. See the difference? Yeah, picture perfect. Head & Shoulders turns dandruff problems into beautiful hair.
Monroe Sensitrack, road sensing shocks and struts. Designed to give you extra control during a swerve. Extra control over rough roads. Monroe Sensitrack gives you both extra control and ride comfort automatically. Monroe Sensitrack, like 2 shocks in 1. Call 1-800-STRUT now for a Monroe Sensitrack dealer near you.
Back with you at Talladega, 174 of 188 complete. 9 cars continue to hang together for that lead. Interval is what, Ned?
Well, the interval from first to ninth is only 1 1/4 seconds, so Sterling Marlin's within a little over a second of winning his second race. The bad news is that he's in 9th place.
Well, there you see the second group. Terry Labonte in there fighting in 10th. Bobby Labonte with him. Michael Waltrip, Morgan Shepherd. Back up front. And there you see Junior Johnson's cars, 27 and 11. In a frisky little fight for first spot. Jimmy Spencer has it. Bill Elliott's right there. So long for Elliott. 92, Atlanta's last win.
He tried a little something there coming off of turn 2. He dipped down to the inside, tried to break the draft. He's setting himself up for the last lap or so, trying to see what he can do. Where can I get a little bit of an advantage? He was able to pick up a car length or two on Elliott. Elliott picked it right back up once he got back directly behind him.
Replay of yesterday. Except I believe there were 15 cars around when they came to the stripe. We saw them lapping Jimmy Hensley's car, all torn up, nose off it, sheet metal anyway, as they came to the Tioga. Last time, Junior Johnson cars were first and second. We got to go back to the mid-'80s. North Wilkesboro, where Neil Bonnet came home first and D.W. came in second. Here's Ernie Irvin. Previous winner here, trying to bring that Ford around this pair of Junior Johnson Fords. Robert Yates against Johnson, old-time racing here. Take a look at the front group. And then that second group running in the lead lap.
Led by Terry Labonte, running into 10th position. But they're losing ground to the front running group. In the 12th position is Terry Labonte, or Bobby Labonte, beg your pardon. Running right on his brother's back bumper, Morgan Shepherd then right there behind Bobby.
Michael Waltrip's in there, and Michael Wallace. What a good day for Michael Wallace.
That's a great day for Jimmy Don Levy Ford, number 90. Been shown in 14th position.
Yep, 10 more when they come by this time.
Blake Speed and Todd Bodine are still in the lead lap, but as we guesstimated, they would not be able to run with the leaders, so they've fallen back.
16 cars in the lead lap. Here's Mike Joy.
Well, every time Jimmy Spencer looks over to his right inside that car, he sees a big stuffed doll. He carries one in every race that they then auction off to raise money for Ronald McDonald Children's Charities. Today, appropriate enough, the Hamburglar. And if Spencer wins this coming from 16th to 1st after that last restart, there's going to be a lot of stuffed dolls up and down pit road here.
Yep. Oh, there's definitely a burglar out there right now. Jimmy Spencer trying to steal this away from his teammate and the rest of the field.
You got the deal now. You got the first three sort of breaking out. The next crowd now is starting the race. So the first three is going to be getting long gone out there.
First four cars are Ford. Chevrolet rides 5th. And Pontiac having a good day with Wally Dolan back in 6th.
But Wally caught down on the inside right now and is about to go to 8. He just did. Unfortunately, Richard, I'm sorry to report that here.
Well, when he pulled down, that was not the thing to do, but he's still got to try, you know?
Yeah, sure.
There you see Dolan back. He's slipped back a couple of spots. In behind Ricky Rudd now. On board with him. Behind Rudd, who is 7th. Sterling Marlin just up in front of Ricky Rudd. From Ricky Rudd's bumper camera looking back, 190 miles an hour plus. 180 complete this time by. And there's that second pack. Still at it. The Labonte brothers having their own war.
It might be a third pack now, because there's a pack out front there, the 3 cars, and then that other group that was with the 3 cars. There's 6 cars in the second pack, and now this third pack.
10th, 11th, 12th, and the rest back there. Terry Labonte for the moment in 10th, and Bobby trying to take it away. Here's Elliott, again taking a gander on the inside.
Well, now he's going to go to the outside. Spencer is driving all over the track, and Elliott, he's trying that too, just to see what's going on there.
Dick Burke.
Well, Larry McReynolds, crew chief for Ernie Irvin, says there's not much they can do right now. They're just sort of hanging on. He said the 2 cars that are in front of him, Junior Johnson's 2 cars, are just too strong.
Junior Johnson has said racing is when you get in there and you stick your nose in a hole. Competition feels like it's in the wrong place. They want to slap your nose out of the way. You just have to stay out there and stand your ground.
That's what Jimmy Spencer's doing right now.
Yep, he's standing his ground, no question about that. And I'm going to predict that they aren't necessarily going to work together to help one of the junior
What do you think of that prediction, Richard?
I think they are going to work for themselves to try to win the race and let Ernie Irvin fall where he will.
The way it looks now, because one of them will run low one lap and the other will run from high, and then they'll back it down the other way. So I think both of them are looking to, what can I do to keep him back there, and what can I do to get in front of him? So, like you say, if he 28 sets there in the right position, he might be in good shape.
Well, one of the best things that can happen to him is for about either the last lap or a lap to go, that they get side by side. He gets a run on them. He can blow both of them off.
And remember, this is not Formula One. There's no orders about who's going to go first and second in this thing.
No. But now that second group is beginning to catch back up a little bit again. Now that Schrader has gotten back in front of that group. He's pulling them faster than Martin was, and they're catching up.
Then they're getting away from Wally and a couple of them back there right now.
Elliott hasn't won a race in his last 47. Dick Bergen with an update. Brother David Hobson on Ken Schrader, who's moving back into it.
You're getting him in the number 4 car to try and get back those 3 Fords?
Yeah, the 4 car's been a good car all day. He got back a little. We've been hoping that he'd get up there with us, and 5 and 4 together, they'll be strong. See what happens here.
There you have it. See what happens, Ken.
Ken Howe, not the typical Southern crew chief, as you could tell by his accent. Love to hear him talk, love to see him work. He's one of the best in the business. Ken Schrader's car. Got him right back up there now in the thick of this battle.
And he's brought Marlin with him, as well as Martin. Here we go again.
Got the first 6 broke away from the other 3, so instead it was a 9-car race now, so it's a 6-car race.
6 is enough for a good finish, Richard.
Yeah, but my car ain't up there.
Elliott to the outside. He's scooping in that clean air. Looks in, looks out, worrying Spencer a little. I doubt it. The crowd, you may have bought those seats. What the old saying was about short track racing, you may buy a seat, but you only need the edge. And that's what's happened here today.
Jimmy Spencer trying to become only the 87th driver to win 2 or more races in the history of this sport. As long as this thing's been going on since back 1949, only 86 drivers have been able to win 2 or more. Now, Richard Petty had a whole lot to do with that.
Hey,
he won 200.
So did Jared. He won 50.
And Ned had a good start in it, too. You can bet on that.
Looking at that high side once again. He's trying to figure what he needs to do.
Bill Elliott in the swing. Inside.
3
outside.
laps to go.
Works it like a giant pendulum on a clock. He just looks them over. Here comes Ernie Irvin. And for the moment, Spencer draws away 2 car lengths. That should disappear right on the straightaway if they pull together, and that's what they're doing.
There's Ed Spencer, Jim's dad.
Great old modified driver. Berwick, Pennsylvania.
Saying a little prayer. I know how that goes.
Coming down 186 in the book. And a couple to go. Jimmy Spencer with that lead. Guy that cut his teeth in modified racing. All out here at Talladega. Mr. Excitement. Living up to his name here today.
Now, this is the point yesterday where Ken Schrader, although he was running, in 3rd place when he made that move yesterday and went by Earnhardt, took the lead. He's running in 4th place today. Not quite as close as he was yesterday to make the move.
It looks like he's hanging on right now.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Figure his best finish in this race was his 5th start. There's something like 24th. My, how things change. There they are lapping Hutch Strickland as they come back to the line. White flag is out. 1 to go. Jimmy Spencer bears down. Bill Elliott comes after him. Here comes Schrader looking high. Don't think he has time enough now. It's between the Junior Johnson cars, Ned.
Yeah, Ernie Irvin went a little high there, lost some distance between the two front runners. Now he's going to have to fend off Ken Schrader. Here comes Elliott, trying to move down on the inside. Now he goes to the outside as Spencer blocks him off there, goes high and blocks him off up there.
What they need is a third dancing partner.
Elliott needs a little help to be able to get by, but he doesn't have any help.
Elliott,
everybody's pretty much on their own.
We'll take one more shot for sure in this try-over. Here he comes, up to the outside, guns it for the inside. Here we come for the finish. Coming to the stripe, it's Spencer. Jimmy Spencer has just won his second restricted plate super speedway race, defeating his teammate, Bill Elliott, at the line. Oh, he wasn't going to let him through. Mike Joyce down there with a winning crew.
That's too busy. I tell you what, this team's finally coming together. And I really appreciate Junior for letting me have this opportunity to run this great team that we've got with McDonald's. And I'm tickled to death.
Mike, you said in January at Daytona, you told me now we've got a driver who will get that car to the front. No kidding. After that restart, starting 16th, did you honestly think he could win it?
Well, we did it at Daytona, you know, and it makes it easier when you got a guy that's gonna give you back 100%. When you give him 100% and he comes back and runs like he did today, I tell you what, it makes it easy.
Great job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Third place, Ernie Irvin takes a 16-point lead over Dale Earnhardt in the Winston Cup standings today. But here's the man they're talking about. Jimmy Spencer has just won his second race. David Hobbs is standing by with Junior Johnson.
Hey, Junior, a first and a second in this race. I mean, how does that feel at this time of the year?
Well, we ran real good at Daytona. Bill and Jimmy both did, and Bill got into the wall a little bit, you know, trying to get by another car or something. And he was equally as good as Jimmy was here today. You know, it's you hate it one has to lose, but you know, if it's both your cars, you know, it's okay with me.
I guess it is okay with him, Ken.
Indeed it is, and it's okay with Jimmy Spencer and his dad. You'll meet them in Victory Circle shortly. Great moment for the Pennsylvania racing fans as Spencer brings them another victory.
From the top of the highest mountain, over land, over sea, in the desert, in the pits, when it absolutely has to start. The battery is Die-Hard. Sears Die-Hard, more power when and where you need it most.
The winds of change are blowing away old ideas and bringing the all-new Ford Windstar, a totally new minivan. Windstar's innovative design moves the wheels out, stretching the wheelbase, creating the most passenger and cargo room of all leading minivans. And with a quieter interior, Windstar takes the minivan in a whole new direction. The all-new front-wheel drive Ford Windstar. The future of minivans begins today.
Hey, you know my crew spends hundreds of hours building those 5,000 horsepower motors. I can explode one in 5 seconds. And when that happens, nobody eats. That's why my guys won't run anything but Fram fillers. You know, Fram gets the nasty stuff out of the oil, so I can go to the other end with my candles lit. And you know, that's in about 5 seconds, nearly 300 miles an hour. You can look at these guys and see they eat pretty near every day.
This is a Goodyear AquaTread with a 60,000-mile warranty, and this is a bucket of water. At highway speeds, Goodyear AquaTread pumps away over a gallon of water every second, thanks to its deep groove aqua channel. Over a gallon a second, that's 396 gallons per mile. Think about it, the next time it's pouring buckets. The all-season AquaTread, only from Goodyear. We say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
The Die-Hard 500 is sponsored by Sears Die-Hard, the official battery of NASCAR. The all-new Ford Windstar, the future of minivans begins today. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
Coming up next, CBS Ion Sports takes you live to the Grand Olympic Auditorium in L.A. It'll be a great welterweight championship fight. Juan Laporte going against Padilla, and it's off to the races live from Saratoga. It's the Go for Juan Stakes. That's all next. CBS Ion Sports. Here's Mike Joy.
I want to know who drove the car, you or this. Look, he's got blonde hair, and except for the mask, did you pose for this? Jimmy, from 16th to 1st after that restart. How?
I'll tell you something, you know, I can't say enough about Junior Johnson, man. I got faith in that big man. I got to thank everybody, all the McDonald's owner-operators, you know, for sponsoring this race car, Mr. Renzi. I got to thank the Anheuser-Busch people also. You know, they come in second. It was a great run for Bill, but I think I had a little bit better race car. And I listened to Junior and come out on top.
How'd you get back to the front?
Got the car back where it needed to be, Mike. I just held it wide open. I had to hold it wide open. And if you lifted and got back in a draft, you couldn't do nothing. And that thing was so awesome on the bottom of the racetrack. I mean, that thing would stay on the white line. We did it at Daytona. We did it here. That thing, a couple guys want to buy this race car for next year. It ain't for sale.
I'll bet not. Great run. Congratulations. Let's go back to the garage, Dick Berggren.
And I'm with Bill Elliott, who did a great job finishing second. But what did you need to catch that Spencer?
Well, I just needed a little bit more. You know, never could get much help out of Ernie, which he was having his problems dealing with Schrader and several other guys. So it was just a situation that, you know, we were just tickled to death to be on the board all day. You know, the way my season's gone and kind of lead a little bit and stuff like that, it's quite a good feeling.
It was a good run, Ken Squire.
What Indeed, it was a beautiful run all day for all of these competitors, 16 of whom finished in the lead lap. As you look at the unofficial standings at the end of 188, Spencer, Elliott, Irvin, Schrader, Sterling, Marlin, and that fight to the finish. Mark Martin, the 6th, Ricky Rudd, the 7th, Dallenbach, Wally Dallenbach giving Pontiac a great finish, 8th place. They're coming back into this thing. Kenny Wallace, 9th, Terry Labonte, 10th on the afternoon. Further back, Bobby Labonte wound up in 12th spot. Mike Wallace, good finish for him, 13th. Lake Speed, Morgan Shepherd into 15th. He'll stay up in those point standings after today's race. Well driven all the way around. Todd Bodine would get that 16th spot before it was all over here this afternoon at Talladega. But the big celebration is for the big guy from Berwick, Pennsylvania. It's Jimmy Spencer celebrating for the 2nd time this year. A record crowd has been here to enjoy all of the festivities of this great 3 days. Richard Petty, a thought from you about what we've seen here.
Well, I think we've seen a typical race from the standpoint of everybody running at everybody and all that stuff, but it probably wasn't a typical Talladega race because there was no passing the last lap. All these boys got strung out. They've done everything they could. They done their racing, and when it come down to the end, they just held on to what they already had.
There wasn't much left in the quiver at the end of that one, was there?
No, there really wasn't. And as Spencer said, he had a very, very strong race car there at the end, and he did what he had to do with it.
Wonderful to work this show with a 50-time winner and 2-time champion, Ned Jarrett, and 7-time Winston Cup champion, Richard Petty. Hope we'll be back alongside real soon. Want to say a special goodbye today to Diane Patterson, who's been with us for 20 years on this show. Moving on into other areas of the television sports world. Thanks for all of your help. And thank you for being with us today to enjoy the Die Hard 500. For Ned Jarrett, David Hobbs, Mike Joy, Dick Berggren, and Richard Petty, Ken Squire saying so long from the Talladega Superspeedway, where Jimmy Spencer has won the Die Hard 500. Coming up next, CBS Ion Sports live championship boxing from Miami. Then off to Saratoga for the live running of the Go for Juan Stakes. The 1994 Die Hard 500 has been a presentation of CBS Sports.
This week on Dave, Jim Carrey.